Oh, you know what I love?
Sports.
Love sports.
Sports.
When it comes to Texas A&M.
Where are you getting this information?
Let me tell you.
Welcome to TexAgs.
It's here. It's time. There's always a buzz in the air when you hit this moment.
He is a guy that has gotten better and better and better. He's just got that dog in him.
We will develop men. We will graduate players, and we will win championships on the field.
I think of him as this hawk. Before long, he's going to be swooping in on those quarterbacks.
And they embody what the school is about. It's about getting into hard situations and getting ourselves out. It's about working hard. It's about doing amazing things.
And this is a real program. It's not fake. This is a real place. And if you want to be really good at football, this is a really good place to be.
You know, if I'm betting on anybody, it's the Aggies.
Well, buddy, I don't know how to respond to the weekend. Mixed emotions about it, right?
Yeah.
Like, there's some good things that happen, some not so good things that happen.
Right.
You know, I'm not overly excited about the weekend, but I'm not overly disappointed. Basketball, I'm disappointed.
Basketball was a disappointment. If you're talking about men's basketball.
Yeah, women's basketball. How about Joni?
Yeah.
Another ranked win?
Well, are they like six of their last seven?
Yeah,
Something
five
like
in a
that?
row, I believe it is. Yeah. Proud of them. Proud of what they're doing. And especially when it would have been easy to get, when they were losing all those games by 30, 40 points, it would have been easy to call it a season. No, they stuck together and they made something happen.
Yeah. They were a great example of what is possible if you just don't give up.
OB, we have oftentimes talked about A&M and football, putting the no in November. You have, and I agree with you. Basketball right now, unfortunately, February has been one to not remember.
No.
2-6, 6 out of their last 8. Like, it just not play. It's almost like the scouting reports caught up with A&M, and maybe just the wear and tear of the SEC basketball.
Yeah, the whole wear and tear thing, I guess it's an issue, but was it an issue? Is that why they lost to Arkansas? There's games they've been scoring 80-something points, right? I don't know. I think that what they're running into is, like you said, the scouting report is catching up to them. And some guys
stepping up.
Some guys aren't.
Yep.
They've got guys that they rely on to be productive, and they're not being productive. Now, they're trying. I'm not saying they're not trying, but quite frankly, you're going to have to get more out of Rylan Griffin.
Yep.
You're going to have to get more
Ruben Dominguez.
Out of Ruben Dominguez.
Yep.
And you've been getting production from Zach Clements, but you need consistency. 29 one night, 3 the next.
Yeah. Yeah.
So now you know who's consistent and you can count on?
Agee.
Rashawn Agee and Marcus Hill.
Yeah.
You pretty much know what you're going to get from those guys.
I love the way Marcus Hill plays downhill. The way he just attacks the rim, the way his defense, everything about the way Marcus Hill plays basketball, I love. This team, I think the selection committee will look at how you're playing when all things are equal. Let's say they put Texas's resume, A&M's resume, this team's resume. How have they looked down the stretch? Now, there's still time for A&M down the stretch. You win these next 2, I think you're in.
You'll be in if you win
right?
the next 2, I think.
If you win one of these next 2, I don't know if you're in.
Depends on which one.
Kentucky, you're probably in, right? Probably.
10-8 with a win over Kentucky and Texas. That maybe that sends you to Dayton. But I think it gets you, Dayton, you're really not in, but you have a chance to get in, right? Because they call it a play-in for a reason.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm to that point where I feel like.
Let me ask you a question.
Okay.
A team, you can, at whatever sport, in baseball, a team that hits a lot of home runs, all right, and they mash their way to the College World Series. Do they win if they're not mashing?
Not if they're overly dependent on that.
Okay.
Now if they have good pitching, everybody can come in and have a good.
I think my point is when that is your brand, and the 3-ball, and you don't do your brand for whatever reason, scouting report, good defense, off night, you're typically not going to win, especially close games, right? They didn't hit threes. They hit a couple late in that game, but they hit 5, right? But I think it was basically 3.
Two of them were in the last 45 seconds,
right?
And 2 of them came from Rashawn Agee.
Yeah.
Rashawn Agee does not need to be your leader in three-point attempted. But Rashawn Agee, I mean, that guy he's a battler, and he's going out there and trying to carry that whole team.
They went at one point more than half an hour without hitting a 3. You can't win.
Not this team. This team is not going to win without. We typically say they need to hit probably a dozen.
Yeah. No, they got to at least get into the double digits. They didn't do that. Look, they're just not playing the best brand of basketball. I hate that it's happening at the end, the way football happened at the end, right? Like
baseball,
the competition
at the beginning and the end last year.
Yeah, the competition
season.
It's hard, right?
Sure.
There's no doubt about it. They're just not playing their best brand of basketball, and I'm almost done with. We would have taken this because I'm one of the people who said this. I think I've said it. Luke said it. We would have taken this before the season. Yeah, but then the season happened, and now I want more. Right. So yes, of course I would have taken this. This is a great position to be in, but I'm talking about the here and now. Right now, they've got these last 2 games. They've got to play their best brand of basketball, which means hitting threes, which means creating turnovers. And I wouldn't be surprised if they won these next 2. I would not be surprised.
I wouldn't either, but you know what they got to do beyond just hitting threes is they're going to have to start playing better defense because, that's been an issue.
But this team should win a game that the opponent scores 76.
Yeah. If they don't get in, I think what we're going to go look back at is that Missouri game. That was just a.
But look at Missouri now, man. They're beating everybody, right?
I mean, they're a good team.
Yeah.
And you hit something like 11 threes in the first half. And then in the second half, you struggled, and you still had a chance. You had the last shot to win it and couldn't.
Yeah. Rough for this Aggie basketball team. Do you is the Kentucky game in your mind a must-win?
Yes, absolutely.
The next 2 must-wins? If you win the next 2, you're in, right? You're in. There's no doubt.
I know this is not a vintage Kentucky team, but I still think there's a certain cachet that comes. It'll be a quad one win, I think.
Yeah.
I think if you beat Kentucky, you're guaranteed to go 10-8 and finish in the upper half of the SEC. And I would think you'd have a win over Texas and a win over Kentucky. I would think that'd be enough to get you in.
Yeah.
Even though we all know that you can't count on committees. You have to remove the room for a committee to screw you over.
Yep.
And so you probably do have to win the last 2.
Baseball. Look, I understand. I saw Bronny post on the board that there was a lot less views on yesterday's game thread than the UCLA game. Okay. Which to me means how I internalize it is people love misery, right? You won 2 of your 3 games in Arlington. 1 run rule, 1 9-3, right? I think it was 9-3.
9-3.
Yep. And you got destroyed by UCLA, the number 1 team in the country. No doubt about it. Most people are putting their attention there. A&M went to Arlington and played really good baseball in 2 of the 3 games and played poor baseball against the best team in the country.
Maybe some of it had to do with it being a Sunday night and people going to work the next day.
Yeah, that's definitely part of it.
But I think part of it is like, okay, you were undefeated, but you haven't played the most challenging schedule, and now you went against a good team and you got walloped. And Aggies, I understand. I don't really stick with, and you do. They stick with their team,
of course. Yeah.
But I'm sure in some minds there's like, well, they're crying wolf again. The good news is they came back against a pretty good, what I understand to be a pretty good Arizona State team.
And a team that hates you.
And you just went out and
took them to the woodshed.
You did. I don't have the box score. Did the Aggies get a lot of? Did they benefit from a lot of base on balls?
That game? Our baseball guy, Cade Bickham's got all the information when it comes to the baseball game. He's a box score magician, and he watches every inning and every pitch. I don't know if he had Flow Sports or not, actually, because I heard nothing but bad stuff about Flow Sports. I follow the game thread. Bickham, what can you tell us about this baseball game?
Well, I was also following the game thread because I do not have Flow Sports.
Right. Ditto.
But I'm gonna pull up that box score right now and get you those base on ball numbers.
Because it seems like as I was following the thread that the Aggies were showing a lot of discipline at the plate.
No.
I know Bear Harrison, I think, got hit like he always does. I think Richard called him a magnet.
Yeah.
But I think they showed some discipline at the plate, and I think that's, back when they were going to College World Series, especially the first time under, Judas, I think, drawing walks and things like that was a key part of it.
Yeah.
So if that's the key, if that's right, I think that's a really good trend.
Bickham.
Well, so I found those base on ball numbers for you. They in the Sunday night game, the game last night against Arizona State, it's 7 base on balls and 8 strikeouts.
Yeah,
so
I'm loving that.
Yeah.
I'm loving that.
Get on base, baby.
Get on base.
Look, nobody's happy that they got run ruled by UCLA. Of course not. I'm just saying, I don't know what my expectations were heading into this season. So heading into last season, I had higher expectations, and it was a disaster. Because of last season, I don't have the same expectations that I had a year ago, but I do have expectations for this team to be really good and make the NCAA tournament and host a regional.
I don't know if I'm going that far.
Right, today I feel like that.
Okay.
I might change my mind in 2 weeks when they're in SEC play. But I love the players. I love the offense. And if Shane Sadeo's pitching the way he has pitched so far, I think you have a Friday night ace that's really good. And that changes things. We got to see how they do against tougher competition moving forward. But in 2 of the 3 Power 4 teams they played against this weekend, they played very good baseball. And who was predicting them to beat UCLA?
Probably nobody.
Yeah.
If they follow baseball. I know this. It seems to me that UCLA game notwithstanding, that they got really good production from the bullpen.
Mm-hmm.
And that is another thing to say, okay, because last year that was a problem. So I think there are things to come away from encouraged.
And I think it shows a little grit and character to come back after getting beat down and say, we're going to go beat somebody down ourselves.
Did you see on the thread? Were you following the thread?
A little bit, yeah.
And so I guess, was it Keel led off and got on? And the next guy, somebody put, I feel like I'm paraphrasing. I got the feeling that Caden Sorrell's going to hit a two-run homer here. And then he does.
Bank on it.
I'm like, who is this guy?
Yeah.
Because I want to ask him what the lottery numbers are.
Hey, OB, just in case you haven't forgotten, this is TexAgs Live.
Brought to you by David Gardner's Jewelers.
In the Rollo Insurance Studio. It is the Go Hour, presented by The Warehouse at CC Creations. There are multiple ways you can join us on the show. YouTube, Premium Chat, those are awesome ways to get in touch with us. But there's also another way, Olin Buchanan.
Well, you can call us or text us on the Buppy's Catering and Bartending Hotline.
That's the number you call, 979-693-1150. But you can text that number on the
Catalyst Pure Performance Energy text line. That's PPE.
So we're going to go around the room. We've already
where are we sitting right now?
Oh, we're in the holistic planning.
The cool zone.
Cool zone.
Yeah.
Holistically planning our financial future.
And this show.
Yeah. Let's talk to Cade again. We don't need to say hi because we've already checked in. Cade, give me something to chew on for a second, for this moment.
Well, I guess something to chew on is going back to the UCLA game. That lineup is really, really good. Chalowski at shortstop is probably he's a candidate to get picked number 1 in that 2027, I believe, or no, it'll be later this year. But the number 1 in the draft, and then Gasparino, I think, has 9 home runs in 10 games, something pretty ridiculous like that. So nothing to like hang your head about. It wasn't great baseball, but that's also a really good hitting team.
Gasparino, not a fan of A&M, and I'm not a fan of him right now.
I'm not. I think maybe if some people were upset and didn't follow the game like we were talking about earlier, it's not that they lost; it's that they got run ruled.
Yeah.
And I'm one of those that I can understand the loss, but I'm never going to say, hey, at least the other team was so good. You're at Texas A&M. You should aspire. I'm not saying that Cade was doing this, but I'm saying you should aspire to beat the good teams. You don't want to just beat the bad ones, right?
Right.
So when they say, oh, yeah, but that's a good team. Yeah, hell yeah, they're a good team. And you're supposed to be a good team too. So I don't have I'm not down on them for losing the game. It's just that the way in which they lost was what was so frustrating for the legions of A&M fans that I guess didn't follow them on Sunday.
Yeah. All right, let's check in at the Angry Elephant News and Social Center. Aggies gather at the Angry Elephant. Haley Dorsey, good morning.
Good morning. Welcome back.
Thank you. How you been?
I've been good. I want to talk about the Combine a little bit. I know you haven't talked about it much.
we were there.
Yeah. Le'Veon Moss decided to sit out of the Combine activities. Mm-hmm. He was hurt. He said he was 85% healthy, he felt. But
he said he'll do pro day.
He'll do pro day, but I wanted to get y'all's thoughts on him sitting out because we didn't get to see a lot of him in the last
I'm okay with it.
half of the season, but do you think teams could look at that as, well, he had time to get healthy?
No. It's quite normal in today's football for guys to sit out and not do everything. He doesn't want to put something on tape that he's going to regret if he's not 100%. And it's basically his audition. So he went there, he did his interviews. I'm sure he interviewed great, and he'll put on, hopefully, a show at Pro Day.
There are some guys that don't run or do other things, and I think it irritates to at least some degree, the NFL personnel there.
Yeah.
I think in I think in
Le'Veon's
situation, every one of them understand it.
Yeah.
Of course. I mean, you're acknowledged. I'm only 85%. Well, okay, we get it. It's a big moment. We'll see you in College Station.
So I've seen the aftermath of KC on social.
KC is now the most popular football player in America.
I didn't think people were making a big deal of it until I saw a post saying that people were making a big deal of it. So I don't know if that was the case or not.
Well, I assumed it was because the guy, whoever it was, I can't even remember who started the post.
That guy does a lot of clickbaity stuff.
If somebody was making fun of and ridiculing KC because of his speech impediment, then those people need to know that not only is that, a pretty, I won't say the word I want to say, a bad move, but they need to know what not only a great player KC is, but just a good guy.
Yeah, great guy.
And inspiration.
So my daughter, Annalise, actually saw it on Twitter, and she brought it to my attention. Dad, does he have a really bad stutter? And she played the audio that people were talking about. And if you just listen to it, I didn't hear a big stutter. I don't know why. Maybe it's because we covered him for the last year and we've gotten to know him. I didn't think it was that big of a deal, but I'm glad that he's getting a lot of support online. The kid deserves it. He's going to be an excellent NFL player, and it's grown people talking smack about people.
The social media makes people meaner because you can say things without actually having to know someone or face somebody. But hey, Moses had a speech impediment.
So I posted that. I think I wrote what Armage said. I think I asked him, maybe you asked him about what's next for A&M. He goes, the national championship. He didn't hesitate. He just said it, right?
I was gone. It had to be you that asked him.
And, of course, Longhorn men with burner accounts and with their real life made comments about meat judging and all these kind of things. Just like, never miss an opportunity, guys. Make yourself the story.
Yeah. They're insignificant to me.
Dorsey, what else?
Well, track and field held the SEC Indoor National Championships this weekend. The Aggie men finished 3rd overall, and the women placed 7th. Overall, the Aggies brought home 10 medals across the 3-day meet, and they will start the NCAA Indoor Championships in 2 weeks.
Yeah, it was SEC Championship.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. All right, let's do this. OB, let's hit a break. Okay. Come back. We'll do the turning point of the basketball game, and then we'll just talk. We'll just chit-chat.
I knew that.
I asked Cade for something for me to chew on. I think I would chew on 1775 if I had the opportunity right now.
No, I would. I'd chew on that succulent brisket or those amazing pork ribs or that scrumptious jalapeno cheese sausage. And, of course, I would always save room and some time to chew on some of that queso mac and cheese.
Look, we had some really good meals while we were in Indianapolis, but it does not compare, OB. I'm just going to be honest. Like, it was good. It wasn't 1775 good.
I had a really good Philly cheesesteak. That was really good. And I had a nice steak. But yeah, I think if I had to choose, I would have taken that fare, which is more than fair, that they provide at 1775.
Yeah, check out the website 1775txbbq.com or call them up 979-492-6241. It is 1775.
And it is good.
Thank you. Everyone, David Nuño here for Allen Honda. Had a great conversation with them earlier today. John Allen's the owner. He's been here forever, and also their GM, Rusty Skinner, great guy. Wonderful conversation. They're super local. They're a family-owned dealership, not some massive auto group, and they treat their customers like family because they basically are family. They're Aggie alums. They love Aggie sports, and they've been serving the Brazos Valley with integrity, with passion, and commitment to excellence for over 50 years, which is very rare, by the way, for the independents because people trust them. And that's why they've been doing it for such a long time. Whether you're looking to buy, lease, or service your vehicle, you can count on them for transparent, no pressure experience that puts your needs first. And I can attest to it. Had a great conversation about my own situation with them. Their knowledgeable sales team will help you find the perfect Honda to fit your lifestyle, from fuel-efficient sedans to versatile SUVs. Leasing options are flexible and affordable, making it easy to drive the latest models with confidence. And when it comes to service, their certified technicians only use genuine Honda parts to keep your vehicle running at its best, whether it's routine maintenance for major repairs or whatever it may be. And we know that trust isn't given, it is earned, and that's why generations of local drivers right here in the Brazos Valley and Bryan College Station keep coming back to Allen Honda. As part of the community with Aggie spirit in their hearts, they are here to make everyone's visit wonderful. So visit their showroom or their service lane and find friendly, efficient, and memorable situations when you go to Allen Honda. Come see why so many College Station and Bryan drivers choose Allen Honda for their automotive needs, and remember, gig 'em. We're back here on TexAgs Live. We are presented by David Gardner's Jewelers. We are in the Rollo Insurance Studio, and it is still the Go Hour presented by the Warehouse at CC Creations. Just going to read this tweet that came out. The Texans and Browns have agreed on a trade. This is from Ian Rappaport. Their right tackle, Titus Howard, to Cleveland in exchange for a fifth-round pick, opening up about $4 million for the Texans. I thought that was, I was with ABC 13 when they drafted Titus Howard in the first round a few years back. I'm surprised they made this trade. I don't know enough about the situation, but I thought their offensive line is an area that they needed to be better at, and I think he was their most productive guy. That's interesting.
Really? Yeah. Interesting. Well, you've been here, what, 5 years?
I'm starting, basically in July it'll be 5 years.
Okay, so you've been here 5 years, and you were with 13 when they drafted him. So he's been with them at least, 6 years then?
Yeah.
And their offensive line's not very good?
Yeah.
This tells me they probably are going to draft an offensive lineman in the first round.
Yeah.
Who could that be? Zune, maybe?
We talked to a couple of Texans. I did, at least. You weren't there for the offensive line day. I enjoyed talking to them.
They're good dudes.
Yeah.
Trey Zune's always a good interview.
Look, I know there's a lot of people who talk about like the value that you can get by but there's nobody doing what TexAgs does.
It's true.
Nobody is sending people to the combine, and it's like, oh, okay. We are so blessed to work for a company that knows where the story is and will send their team to cover that story. There is no better resource. There's no better information than TexAgs.com. People can claim it, but they ain't it.
Well, the one thing I do appreciate about Liucci and the people here is that, look, it was a history in a way that A&M, first time they had the most players at the combine, 13. So he says, you know what? Let's go cover that.
Yeah.
And I can remember 4 years ago, whatever, I was the only, representing TexAgs, I was the only media from Texas at the SEC basketball tournament. Well, now everybody goes. For years, I was the only SEC. When I asked Nick Saban what evidence he had on A&M buying this whole class, I was the only person from the state of Texas that was covering SEC spring meetings. Well, now everybody does.
Yeah.
So TexAgs.
We set the standard.
And
we just set a new one. So now everybody's budget is screwed for next year. Anyway. Shall we do
including ours?
Yeah, we're not ever going back. No, let's do the turning point for the basketball game this weekend, OB.
Yeah, I don't have it right in front of me, but I'm thinking there was about 4 minutes to go.
I have it right here.
I want to say A&M
4:55 to 4:16. It was 55-53 at that point, and then Texas,
I thought it was a 4-point game.
Okay,
what I'm thinking of, and Tremont Mark, who has been a thorn in the Aggie side his whole career. He gets off a shot from the corner with like 1/10 of a second, maybe, before the shot clock.
That made it 63-56.
Yeah, it gave him a 7-point lead.
Yeah.
And right there, I just thought that, and it's, about a minute later, they're up 9 and it's over. So I thought if they could have gotten the stop there, and they were within a fraction of a second of getting the stop there, and instead they hit a 3-pointer, and I just thought that's where it ended.
So I had mine's a part of that, OB. The Ags were down 55-49 or 48. Then Pop Isaacs hit a 3. Aggie gets a dunk. Now it's 55-53.
Okay, they're within 2. All right.
Volka, whatever his name is, gets a tip in, 57-53. Clemens hits a free throw. Then they hit a 3. And then Tremont Mark. So they went on an 8-2 run after that point. That's to me where the game changed, because they got it up to, as you said, 63-56.
Yeah. If they get that stop though, they're in the game.
Yeah.
They still had, but that, and again, what's so frustrating is maybe it was 0.2 of a second, but it was just right. I think the clock goes off with the ball in the air, right?
Yeah.
And they had another one earlier where a guy shot from the corner and he hit iron, and the ball, bounces up skyward like 5 feet, it seems like. It's probably 3, but it seems like it was 5 feet up there, and then it just falls through. Sometimes you just get lucky.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just get unlucky.
On the premium chat, Calvin says, Nuño, it's pretty obvious Ag players are tired. They're consistently failing to get back on D, on turnovers, leading the easy points for opposing teams. can't change that aspect. Team has achieved far more than I anticipated. Opponents have figured out Bucky's system. We made 8 of 17 layups and 3 dunks and 3-point woes, and the L's added.
A&M misses a lot of layups, and I think it's, size is a contributing factor in that. Seems like, I'm not going to say it is, but there's this one guard that constantly is trying to penetrate and rarely finishes. But the whole tired thing, first of all, okay, shouldn't everybody be? Why isn't the other teams tired? They've been playing. And what's one of the big things that all year long we said was one of the great assets that Texas A&M has?
One of the great, like this basketball team in particular?
This basketball team, one of the best things they had going for them.
That they can go 90 feet all game long?
Well, I was going to say that their depth.
Oh, their depth, sure.
In fact, A&M probably leads the country. I don't know if this is true, but the SEC in bench points.
Yeah.
So they're supposedly, hey, look, we're so deep. Well, everybody's going to be tired now. I just don't I don't like the excuse, especially if you're telling me at one point of the year, hey, depth is a big reason for our success. Oh, now we're tired. Well, everybody's tired.
Yeah. I don't think the players are saying that or the coaching staff. I think when losses add up and you look at the film, you're like, this doesn't look like the same team production-wise, and you try to figure out the why. And I think some of the whys we've discussed. Teams have caught up with your system.
I think it's more of that.
I think people are pressing and rushing shots. Dominguez's shot looks like he's rushing it a little bit faster than I think he was doing it early in the season. And when things don't go well, you start to press.
Do you know that I was looking at this morning? In the first 4 SEC games, Ruben Dominguez had 16 three-pointers, 4 three-pointers in each of the first 4 SEC games. He has like 13 total since then.
Oh, my. We'll hit a break. We'll come back with some more. Right now, I want you to imagine a workspace designed for how we work now. I'm talking about the Lumen at Lake Walk. It is collaborative, inspiring, and surrounded by real energy. The Lumen at Lake Walk is the place, the only Class A+ office building with lake views, on-site dining, fitness, and conference centers, amenities, all just steps from the Stella Hotel. It's a beautiful place to go and enjoy everything that Lake Walk has to offer. It's a place that is built for the modern business, and it helps attract talent, impress clients, keeps teams energized. And something about the Aggies will really appreciate, it is an Aggie-owned project developed by William Cole Companies, the same group that brought you Traditions, the Stella Hotel, and Lake Walk. So if you're a business owner, an entrepreneur, or if you're looking for your next headquarters or family office, this is where innovation meets lifestyle. Now leasing at the Lumen. Learn more at lakewalktx.com. That is lakewalktx.com, the Lumen. Hey friends, David Nuño here for Prize Picks. They're back on TexAgs, prizepicks.com/TexAgs. Use the code TexAgs to get $50 once you play in $5 lineups. And Prize Picks is the best place to win cash while watching sports. Football season's here, basketball coming up, baseball, you name it. You go to prizepicks.com/TexAgs and start having some fun watching sports, making some money on there. And you can play Prize Picks in over 40 states, including California and Texas. Remember, they'll give you $50 in lineups once you play $5 lineups on Prize Picks. And they have the new thing. It's called It's Good to Be Right campaign, and they're kicking off the upcoming NFL season with their bold new campaign, It's Good to Be Right. The seasonal long push celebrates the thrills of getting it right, from the perfect prediction to winning your Prize Picks lineups. Prize Picks is good to be right. We're back. TexAgs Live, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers Rollo Insurance Studio. Go Hour, presented by The Warehouse at CC Creations, and we're hanging out at the Holistic Planning Cool Zone. OB, if I were to ask you what the high point of this basketball season has been, you would say?
One high point.
Like the point where you're like, man, this team is like playing their best basketball. This team is great. I thought it was the Georgia game.
Yeah. You know, they were going into that, what we identified as a key 5-game stretch. And I'm not sure, though. Yeah, Georgia game. I mean, they played great, but I'm still, beating Texas at Texas.
Follow me here.
Okay.
Football was the high point.
Beating LSU.
Huh. And I don't think they were as good after the LSU game.
Oh, they weren't. 2 years in a row.
Right. And basketball, so something about the high point this year and what has happened after. Not that they're related. I don't think they're related. I'm just bringing out a point.
I'm going to say one of the things that's different is A&M went and played a great game, its best game of the year at LSU, and just wasn't the same team afterwards. For whatever reason. A&M played its best game against Georgia and came back and played a damn good game on the road against LSU.
They did.
I mean, not LSU, against Alabama.
Yeah.
So they had played good ball. I think but in that game against Alabama, Ryan Griffin had 17 points. He hasn't
done anything since.
He hadn't.
Yeah.
And they need it from him.
Yeah, they absolutely need it from him.
I think in one of the other losses that they were good in, he had about 17 points. When Ryan Griffin is scoring and giving some real support, because now you've gotten to where you can count on Aggie, and you can count, and it looks like you can always count on Marcus Hill. So if you need that third guy, and when Ryan Griffin is producing, they're a tough team to beat.
OB, and now I'm going to transition to some football talk. Okay.
Okay.
Josh Pate, our buddy, he had a list, or he made a list of the most hated teams in college football that entering this year.
Okay, that should be interesting.
Okay. And I'm going to give you his top 5. I think he made 8. And the reason I'm going to give you the top 5 is it's going to spur a different dialogue afterwards, okay? But I find this very interesting. Number 1.
Is this just his opinion?
Yes, it's his opinion.
Okay.
Number 1, Notre Dame.
Yeah. It's always love them or hate them.
2, Bama.
Okay, pretty much same thing.
3, Texas.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
4, LSU.
Okay.
5, Miami. Okay? And the reason I bring that up to you is A&M has played all of those teams or will play one of those teams this year, right? So obviously Notre Dame was last year, 2 years in a row. Bama, A&M's playing them this year. Texas, they play them every year now in the SEC. LSU, they play them every year. Who did A&M lose to in the playoffs? They played Miami. I just found it interesting that list has some tentacles that A&M has relationships with.
Some what?
Tentacles.
Tentacles. Okay.
Not the other thing.
Okay. The only one on there that I'm a little bit surprised is LSU, and
Lane
maybe
Kiffin.
it's because Lane Kiffin's the coach.
Kiffin. It's Lane Kiffin. Okay. So now I want to rank us on the show A&M's most hated teams for the 2026 season. Our perspective, how we hate. Because a hater is going to hate.
Okay.
Hate.
Well, Texas is always going to be number 1 on A&M's hate list.
Yep.
That's the Wicked Witch of the West, and then LSU's the Wicked Witch of the East.
Yeah, I didn't know how I wanted. So I made a list, and I think I agree with you now that I think about it, take a step back. I had Bama as my number 2 most hated team.
Okay.
But yes, we hate LSU more than we hate Bama, right?
I would have Alabama 3.
I had South Carolina as my next team.
I don't know if it's that. I mean, I don't
Maybe
like
just
them.
because of the Beamer and it's halftime. We won. No, you didn't. Well,
yeah, I think he's kind of a clown.
I think I'd like Beamer.
And that's going to get back to him. Somebody's going to say, "I'm sorry, Frank," or "I'm sorry, I like your dad."
Shame.
But when you're, being a cheerleader at halftime, and then opting not to kick a field goal at a clutch part, thank you.
Yeah, thank you for that.
But to me, like I said, Alabama's 3. Then you start.
Would you put Oklahoma or South Carolina?
Oklahoma.
Really? Okay.
Do we hate Arkansas? Sometimes we hate Arkansas. I think
they didn't even make my list.
I think right now we pity Arkansas.
Yeah.
Sorry, John. John Neighbor.
Oh.
Sorry, John. I think right now everybody kind of.
They didn't even make my list.
I'm trying to remember who else is on this.
Well,
Now, we don't hate Tennessee.
Yeah, Tennessee should be on there. Yeah. I didn't put them on mine. This is how I did. I did Texas, Bama, LSU, South Carolina, Oklahoma, Missouri. And then I don't know, like Kentucky. I don't hate Kentucky.
Hard to, yeah.
Arizona State, whatever, bro.
Hating Kentucky is
Tennessee,
hating Kentucky is like, hating a puppy, right? I mean, they're not going to hurt
puppies.
The Citadel. Now, we don't hate the Citadel.
They didn't make my list.
Of course not. Do you know the Citadel once beat Arkansas?
I did not know
And
that.
they fired their coach the next Monday for losing the Citadel. So, okay, on my list, it'd be Texas 1, LSU 2, Alabama 3, and then probably from my own history,
Oklahoma.
I'd probably go Oklahoma.
Then Missouri?
How do you hate drink? Okay, then I'll put South Carolina.
Okay.
But I love going to South Carolina. It's a good trip.
That is a good trip. That's the one. But I may not go this year because the 2 times I've been, A&M has lost.
Well, then you need to go and experience a win there.
Yeah, I got to experience the win at Baton Rouge, too.
Yeah, and I'll tell you another thing I hate about South Carolina is that godforsaken rooster crow every time they get a first down. The Aggies get a first down, they play that, I can't do the song, the tune. And I'm like, they got a first down, great. But it's that,
I hate that.
God, I hate that.
Yeah.
And then for the Arkansas with the, I'm like, now, look, Arkansas is going to come down here and somebody's going to be looking for me now.
But when you look at this, okay, how many of these games are on the road? Bama on the road, LSU on the road, South Carolina on the road, Oklahoma on the road, Missouri on the road.
Yeah, so
a lot of hard road games.
All road games in the SEC are hard. I mean, I've always said this. No place has been harder on Texas A&M than Starkville.
Mm-hmm.
And then we don't have to play them this year. Let me say A&M doesn't have to play them this year. But I've always thought the key to a successful season is beating Auburn.
Yeah.
Go back and look. When they have good years, they beat Auburn. When they're disappointed, they lose to Auburn. But yeah, I mean, look, those games all project to be very difficult, good teams, and yet it's funny. This time last year, it's like, how are they going to survive playing LSU on the road and they got to play Missouri and who else was it? Notre Dame and somebody else, I guess Texas. And then at the end of the year, everybody said, A&M hadn't played anybody.
If you made your top 5 of programs that you hate, it doesn't have to be A&M opponents.
Right.
I feel like Notre Dame is on your list.
Yeah, you either love them or hate them.
There's Notre Dame 1 or Texas 1 right now?
Oh, no. Texas is 1 now. And this is odd because Oklahoma's up there. And I think that's just because
you were a Texas guy for a while.
Yeah, and I grew up with it, right? So Notre Dame would probably be 3, Alabama's 4. And then who would I put 5? I'm not a big fan of Ohio State.
Yeah.
Yeah, I told you about the time, Ohio State guys were messing with me just because I was walking by. Ohio State, if you ever go to a game at Ohio State, if you're in any kind of car, do not put anything in your car that shows you're from the visiting team. No, because then it's a 50-50 chance that you're going to have slashed tires or a busted windshield.
Okay. So outside of A&M,
who do I like?
3 or 4 programs that you like.
Oh, I like Tennessee.
I like Tennessee too.
Because I lived up there and I met a lot of nice people. I like, who else do I like?
I kind of like Clemson. Kind of like them.
Used to, don't really.
Kind of like them.
Really.
Yeah, I do like the U, as you know.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I know you like. Who else do I like? Baylor? No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding, everybody. Who do I like? Man, have I become that A&M guy? I think
I like people.
I joke that A&M hates everybody. Where have I got? Nebraska. I hate them. And yet, when I go up there, the people are so nice.
Yeah.
I like Navy.
Yeah.
I like Army.
How can you not like them?
Yeah, right.
I know you're a big Lincoln Riley fan, so you probably like USC.
No, I detest USC. USC might be on my list of Who do I like?
Coaches you don't like. How about that?
You know what? I kind of like Georgia.
I like Georgia. Yeah.
I kind of like Georgia. I kind of like Auburn.
I don't have an opinion on Auburn.
Auburn did treat me well at Auburn. I had the worst press box meal in the history of press box meals at Arizona State. So that's enough reason not to like, even though I've always liked Arizona State.
Yeah,
I don't know why.
I'm looking forward to that trip.
I like it. I like
18
Arizona.
months.
Okay, so I'm going to say A&M. Okay. My top 5, A&M, of course, number 1. So maybe I'm going to put Arizona State in there.
Okay.
I'm going to put Army and Navy.
Okay.
Because I'm
Yeah, you like America.
Patriotic guy.
America.
And I'm trying to go up through the Virginia Tech. I like Virginia Tech.
I don't have an opinion on them.
I've had some good experiences at Virginia Tech. Bad experience at Ohio State. I became a Michigan fan because of my time in going there.
We got a caller. Let's do this.
That's a
Let's
good
hit a break,
question.
and we'll get to that caller on the other side. Ryan wants to chit-chat a little bit, so
Okay.
we'll do that on the other side. Right now we're talking
Hang on,
about...
Ryan.
What up, Ryan? Huh?
I said, hang on, Ryan.
Hang on, Ryan. We'll get to you here in a second. Right now we're talking Heritage Films. Chance McClain is the founder of that company, a good buddy of mine. Well, actually, my former boss hired me at 1560 The Game years ago. One of the beauties about Heritage Films is they tell people's story, and your story needs to be told. Your dad's story needs to be told. Your mom's story needs to be told. Your entire family legacy needs to be captured in a documentary form, and that's what Chance and his team does. Normal people every day are getting their stories done, and Aggies love telling their stories. So if you're listening to this show, you've got a story. Let's share it for the next generation. What you need to do is reach out to Chance McClain and his team. 713-893-8341. That's 713-893-8341, or go to yourheritagefilm.com. That is yourheritagefilm.com. I wish I had Olin here for it because he loves energy drinks. Catalyst Citrus Spark. This is one of the new flavors out there. Whether you're grinding through workouts, cramming for a test, or closing in on a deal, or getting ready for TexAgs Live, you never know, right? Fast becoming the go-to fuel for Aggies everywhere. Zero sugar, I'm all in for that. Or synthetic sweeteners, no artificial colors or flavors. Catalyst delivers clean, high-performance energy with smooth, crisp taste that is never syrupy, designed for both health and hustle. You want to get going? You use this Catalyst right here. It's about pure energy and pure results. And what sets them apart? Packed with premium nootropics blended to boost focus, clarity, and mental stamina. I need this. I'm in, guys. I'm in. Plus, with plant-based caffeine, vitamin B12, B6, Catalyst supports metabolism and energy production, making it more than a drink. It's your lifestyle training partner. Built for competitors on the field, Catalyst fuels strength, focus, and pure results. Buy now at drinkcatalyst.com. That is drinkcatalyst.com. Train harder, think sharper, pure results. It's Catalyst. TexAgs Live, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers, Rollo Insurance Studio. Mike from Deer Park reminding us on the text line, on the Catalyst Pure Performance Energy text line, happy Texas Independence Day, y'all.
Heck yeah.
Heck yeah, America. Let's go to the Bubby's Catering and Bar
Ryan.
hotline. Ryan wants to talk about some hate. Ryan, good morning.
Boys, how are y'all doing?
Good.
Good, buddy. How are you?
Good. I've met you both, and Olin, you're old enough. You're like me. You know better. But if you don't hate Texas Tech, you woke up on the wrong side of the bed.
But I don't deal with them anymore.
Yeah,
right?
I think that part of it is like if I don't deal with them, I don't like. That's why Oklahoma wasn't as high on my list as.
Yeah, but hey, boys, those Graham Harrell and Michael Crabtree, they were tough to live with.
That's true.
It's true. And now,
I can't forgive the Techie for that.
Okay.
Yeah, I can give you that. The weird thing is, like, at that time, I didn't love Mike Leach, but I learned to love him, you know?
I even liked Leach then. I know he said things that, pissed off Aggies.
Kind of in the Lane Kiffin kind of way, or?
He was just kind of like that crazy uncle.
Yeah.
I miss Mike Leach.
Yeah, me too.
But I get what you're saying, right? The whole classless clowns thing and the tearing down the goalpost, even though they were favored at home. All these, redneck kind of stuff, and supposedly putting excrement from animals in the A&M bus and stuff like. They do a lot of the tortillas. I get it. It's just that I don't deal with them anymore. It's like why do I hate somebody I broke up with 20 years ago?
Right. I'm kind of with OB, but
okay.
Certain teams you can't ever forget. Like if especially if it was part of a certain time in your A&M sports love, right? Mm-hmm. Like a real crucial time.
Yeah.
I get it. Like I just haven't dealt with Texas Tech enough. I don't want them to win, right? I don't like them, but I don't think of them.
Yeah. I get it. I get it, Brian. You're right, but it's kind of out of sight, out of mind kind of thing for me.
Brian, I appreciate it, buddy. Thanks, man.
Guns down.
All right, guns down. All right, OB, we survived the go hour.
We did.
Coming up next, Michael Earley, Ryan Brauninger, Mark French, Billy Liucci, Bucky McMillan, maybe Luke Evangelist. All that and more. Biggest takeaway from the weekend, OB?
Casey Concepcion is going to be a first-round draft choice.
Yeah. First-round guy.
Yeah.
All right, we'll hit a break. We'll come back with more. You're listening to the world-famous, best values talk show in the country, TexAgs Live. And we're back. TexAgs Live, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers, Rollo Insurance Studio. Hour number 2 of the program. A little baseball talk. Bronny's in studio. And head coach Michael Earley. Coach, how are you, sir?
A little tired?
Yeah, I was going to say.
Good morning.
I asked you at the break what time you got home. You said 3 in the morning. So, but the grind continues.
Yeah, it's good. Office is right around the corner, so it's easy to pop in.
So on a weekend, you go 2 of 3. Any takeaways? Satisfied with the weekend? Where are you?
Yeah, I mean, I thought we played well. I thought, obviously the middle game and the game to look at, you lose is the UCLA game, and it's a 5-run ball game in the 6th, and it just kind of got away from us. I was pretty upset, I guess, after the game with that, just because you never want to just get beat. But you look back at it, and it just kind of got baseballed a little bit. But at the same time, like, you're never going to accept a loss like that. A lot of good, though, out of the weekend. Like, you came in, and Virginia Tech's a good team. You took care of them, and you're able to bounce back on Sunday. And while it's 3 different teams, it's still a series. And being able to come into day 3 and take the series, so to speak, is a really good sign.
What I wanted to know what you thought about your starting pitching, because Shane was awesome. But Weston, not great, up, elevated, not moving a bunch. And then Sims, that was the least sharp he's been, and still kind of found a way to battle and keep you in it. Where you at with that whole rotation coming out of a weekend where you saw 3 very different offensive teams?
Yeah, Shannon's great. Weston's, I think he's better than that. I think he's going to be better than that. He's got to get us deeper into the game, be able to put some guys away, eliminate hard contact. They're just on him, and I think Weston's going to be really good for us. We're obviously going to keep running him back out there, and then Sims had a few more walks than he's had, which I don't know if he's had any. So It's been. It was good. I mean, one thing about throwing strikes is, and I'm not saying it was this, is when guys are making hard contact, that's what gets guys out of the strike zone more than anything else. You can't, Arizona State turned a couple balls around. You got to continue to keep throwing strikes and not get scared out of the strike zone. And I don't think that's what happened, but it was the first time some of these guys, the other team found some real barrel.
And if you're going to throw the ball over the plate at that rate, which you will take every day of the week, inevitably you're going to have a night like Weston had where it's up, elevated, and spin in the middle of the plate, and you're going to get beat up. And he happened to get beat up against one of the best lineups in the country. Outside of that, I thought the bullpen was really good too. Like they just keep taking on. Ethan Darden has got your most high leverage outs of this year by far.
Yeah, he's done a great job. And they, I guess Saturday we were able to, and Gavin came in there and did a really nice job. And, again, you're still playing a series, and it allowed us to be pretty full in the tank on Sunday. So the bullpen's been awesome. And for the most part, our starting pitching has allowed us to set it up, right? We haven't had one of those yet. It's going to come at some point where it's just complete blow up, and, we've been set up pretty good. So those guys have just been impressive coming in, throwing strikes, whether it be leverage or not leverage, just doing their job. And they're throwing it at a high clip and throwing in there some really good stuff.
It just goes to show you, David, that on the offensive side, you can have a game where you win and you catch a butt shoe, and you have a game where you lose and you're like, that stinks, but it's kind of the game of baseball. You're talking about on Saturday, right? So you will take Saturday offensively overall was better for you than Saturday win versus Penn.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And, I mean, I was upset after the game just because I don't like to lose like that, right? And you can't accept losing like that. Now, as a coach, you got to go back and look at the game rationally, look at the analytics of it. In the end, he still lost, and that's not good. I mean, a loss by 1 or 2 is different than 10, period. But at the same time, I left mad, but it's like I saw something. I felt like we're there. We're not there, but we're gonna get to that point. But yeah, man, it is a funny game, right? It's just it's you can't explain it to people who don't understand, and that's fine, and that's none of our business. But it's just you can hit 10 balls over 100 miles an hour and have nothing to show for it. But in the end, you win or you lose, and we lost. We moved on, and we got the win the next day.
So you leave Saturday mad. What about the response then on Sunday? And did you see something in their eyes maybe Saturday night or Sunday during the day?
I just thought Sunday they came in ready to go. We weren't, our tails weren't between our legs. They weren't, came in. They all walk in with the turtle boxes. They're blaring, and, they just got in the cage. We did our work. There was no over anxiety or down or we got a long bus trip ahead, like the game before us got delayed. We didn't start till later. Nothing changed. It's like we just set up shop there and they took care of business.
You're just over a year into your head coaching tenure, and you've gotten pretty good at putting out lineups without your best players in them, or most talented players in them. But what have you learned about this club? Trying to mix and match with Sawyer and Bendy and Chestnut and maybe Ben Royo this week. Like how is that going in terms of you and your staff sitting down and making the lineup each day without Hakopian and Wesley Jordan?
Yeah, so we've really tried to, and this is even going back as an assistant coach, we've really tried to do a lot of things differently with the guys who aren't, playing every day, just to keep them prepared, whether it be sprint work before the games or high-speed machine work before the games, just so I talked about it before, so they're not losing practice days and getting better. So I think, and to those guys' credit, like, it's really not fun to not play, but they've been attacking that with a great attitude, right? And going after those practices. And yeah, it's obviously, it is what it is, right? I mean, that's why you recruit depth and you hope guys you can plug and play and you want different looks. And Chestnut's been, he's been really good for us. If you look at him how I look at him, and that's on base. He's got some strikeouts, but to me, it's his on base percentage, period, nothing else. Bendy did a nice job yesterday too. And Sawyer, I don't think got any hits yesterday, but made a real nice play in the field when there's one out. They could have had two guys on. So yeah, they've all done really well.
And then overall defensively, how do you feel like the weekend went? They had a big double play last night against Arizona State, 3-6-3, with their best hitter up. But I thought, Boston had one where he kicked, and that's a freshman who he's going to fight some ground balls. But I thought overall you guys were pretty solid.
Yeah, that ball hit pretty hard at him. He just didn't. I always ask Cliff, I'm like, what should he have done different? Because whatever he tells me, I believe.
That's dangerous.
Yeah, and he's been good. I mean, he's a hard worker, but yeah, for the most part, and I don't say for the most part, we were pretty good defensively and have been good defensively just with the routine baseball plays.
And then something that I think people were going to want to know about is the base running this weekend. So Sorrell gets doubled up on the ball to right center. And then last night, the first to third, arm fake, and Gavin's just kind of in no man's land on a back pick to third.
Yeah, so on Sorrell's, you can't get out that far. He's like, I thought he was going to beat him. It doesn't matter. Like he knows that. Like you can't.
You could be at second base and watching the game and be fine.
You can't. When that ball in right center, you can get about to second.
Yeah.
Right. If that ball's in left center, you can get past second, and then have to retouch on the way back. But you cannot be fully committed, especially in a park like that where every ball that's hit well in the gap, I just don't believe it. You know what I mean? Until it actually happens. And then the first and third play is just you can do a lot of different things, right? You can send the guy, you can not send the guy. Catcher catches the ball. He was going to second, but as soon as you bobble, you gotta shut it down. I'm not sure how well Gavin saw the bobble of the hand in fast time, but just things that are easily controllable, like that can't happen. But at the same time, it gives us some stuff to watch and show them and get better at.
What's impressed you about Shane so far?
The ability to throw strikes at a high clip. Now I think he's thrown at this point 5 or 6 different pitches. He mixed in a sinker and he mixed in a curveball in the last game. So looking at it from my point of view, you're doing a scouting report. You got this guy who's really good, and now he's just randomly throwing, instead of a ride heater, he's throwing a sinker.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of a slider cutter, he's mixing a curveball. That just puts stuff in people's minds, right? And so it's not about having a bunch of different pitches, it's about throwing strikes with pitches with stuff, and that's been the most impressive thing.
I wanted to talk about Benderup because this was a guy that for 2 years was the opening day starter at first base. Season didn't go exactly how he wanted it to, but had some big swings for you last year, and then starts this year with Gavin over there. And I kind of said it in the preseason, was like, hey, if Blake's going to get a chance on this team, like he's going to have to make the most of his opportunities. So far, so good.
Yeah, he's great. Blake's awesome. Huge fan of him just as a person, and like when he's in there, like he's never doubted his competitiveness, and he's been working really hard. So yeah, he did great yesterday. Hit a ball in a guy's shirt, which was probably the first time for anyone to see it.
Did you catch that, or did Cliff catch that?
I knew, and I was just kind of waiting to see what they did, and they got it right. Like the guy in the field got it right away. So I just have never seen it.
I saw it. I think I saw it on Rugnet Odor was the fielder, and a ball hopped up, and he like jumped up with it to play the hop, and it went into his shirt. And I remember them calling it like dead ball right there, and then everybody's awarded a base.
Yeah, I thought he killed the guy when he hit that. Like
well, it was back to back with, and then Bear spun his bill with like a 109 right over his head, and that's another guy. We talk about Bear, like catching very good.
Yeah.
Not hitting the way he wants to, but getting to first base. Like I thought you all were going to start Zane yesterday, just because that's been the typical kind of flow of things. But where you at with Bear? And
I was going to tell you what his on base was, but it's he's not getting hits, but he's getting on base.
Right.
I've liked his at bats from Tuesday to Saturday, and it was pretty close. I just thought he's been hitting the ball hard, and I just kind of played the law of averages. I'm like, this guy's got to drop.
Mm-hmm.
And he crushed one and got on. I think he walked and got hit by a pitch. So
yeah, he's on base.
On base, and he's gonna hit. Like he's gonna hit better. If you go back to Tuesday from now, like he's hammering some baseballs and he's still getting on base. So I felt great about Bear, and he's gonna be good.
How good is it for the team overall to take on 3 different types of teams just for building a season?
It's really good. It's really different. I mean, it is a series, but it's the most different type of series you'll ever play. And it's good to just get different looks, not know what to expect, not have any preconceived notions of the game before. You just don't know. You just got to play baseball. So it's good, and it's one of those things we're going to be doing at the end of the year anyway. So it's really nice to get used to.
How much did y'all get to sit and watch Mississippi State, Tennessee?
I watched a little bit. I would go to the morning game and pop in, and just it's really cool. They treat us really well there. So you got to sit down in those lower level suites that I would never buy with my own money. So where all you guys sit when you're there. So it's good. I mean, it's good to see those teams, and video's one thing, TV broadcast is one thing, getting a feel. Can't really get a feel of them. You can't really scout them in a game, but just, you're always kind of measuring yourself against the other good teams in the league, and it was really, really good to see.
What impressed you? I mean, UCLA, I think you play them again. You play them 10 times. I think that's, there's a lot of different games, a lot of different outcomes that could happen. But, everybody's talking about them. They're the most hyped team right now in college baseball. What did you like about them, just kind of overall, outside of, like, the actual game?
Yeah, I mean, I've got a ton of experience playing against UCLA, just going back to the Pac-12. And they have a style of play, and they have a confidence to them that's really good. I think the thing about them that I think helps them the most is they all played together last year for the most part. Like, their core group is back. That guy at shortstop's a leader, like a leader, and then Will Gasparino's, going off. They really remind me of like the Pat Casey, Oregon State teams, like 2017, 2018. Like, they're going to keep coming. They're not going to stop. It's talent. I mean, obviously the guy's supposed to be the number 1 pick, or he's up there. They got some guys on the mound, but it's just, they really play as a team, and it's good. I mean, they're a really good baseball team. They're going to do really well.
11 games in, you feel good about the direction?
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I like where we're at. I mean, obviously want to get back whole and get those guys back. I think, once those 2 are back, you would think over the course of the next week or 2 weeks, like it's a pretty real lineup, right? Like, it's pretty real, meaning depth, trying not to give breaks. But those guys that are playing right now are doing a good job too. So I like where the pitching's at. Yeah, I mean, what are we, 10-1?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean.
10-1 with your opening day lineup together for 2 of those.
Yeah. I mean, it is what it is. But, I mean, you got one butt kicking that I think in the end wound up being a really good thing for us. So, yeah, I like where we're at to this point.
And looking at the next 2 weeks, I mean, it's SEC play right around the corner. How do you plan on bringing those guys that are on the shelf along? You got to have them ready for that trip to Norman.
Yeah, I think it's like where, and Chris should have played. Like, I mean, hit a homer his first at bat. He clearly is ready to play. And Wes, it's just, I mean, they're gonna like want to have to fight me because, coach, I'm so good, I'm so ready, I can play. That type of stuff, because we need him. Like, and the big chunk is coming. Like, we're not to it yet, but it's right around the corner. So I just really need them to be 110.
Coach Earley, thank you for your time, sir.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. We'll hit a break. We'll come back a little bit more baseball talk with Bronny on the other side. You're listening to TexAgs Live presented by David Gardner's Jewelers. As a reminder, the final segment of the program is brought to you by Double Dave's. That's at 10:50. But right now, caller number 12, 979-693-1150. We're going to hook you up with your choice of a dozen pepperoni rolls or a large one-topping pizza from Double Dave's. They've been serving Aggieland since 1984 with your favorite pizza and, of course, those world-famous pepperoni rolls. Reliable in-house delivery, bringing piping hot goodness straight to your door. Just click on doubledaves.com and your favorites are on their way. Flow Sports Weekend for you? How was that?
Immediately, like I don't move fast in very much of my life. I moved quickly to cancel that subscription once the game was over.
I've gotten it in years past. This time I didn't get it because I was just too busy. I probably could have watched it last night, but I just didn't because I remember how much of a headache it was to cancel. And also just the coverage wasn't good. That being said, you got to take in a lot of the baseball. What were your takeaways from the weekend?
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to echo a lot of the same things Coach Earley said. Probably, one thing, and I actually told him this, was like I was surprised about his immediate reaction to Saturday's loss to UCLA, given the context of the game. Now, I was surprised, but when you think about it through his lens and what he has said from the onset of this season is you either win or you lose.
Yep.
Then in the moment, I could understand him being a little bit, upset and angry about the outcome. And then he even said, as he slept on it and he's kind of gotten away from it, he understands you got baseballed a little bit. And they hit 10 balls over 100 miles an hour. And UCLA hit the ball extremely hard too. It's just sometimes they go at people, sometimes they don't. And some of the biggest hits that UCLA got in that game were balls that were leaving the bat at 60, 61, 69, and 80 miles an hour. Those were huge hits for them to drive in runs. It's just the game. Now, that's not to take anything away from UCLA. I think that they have been clearly the best team in the country in this early part of the season. Actually, I actually think Texas will have an argument there as well.
Mm-hmm.
But through 11 games, 12 games, UCLA has been incredible, and they've got the first overall pick at shortstop. He was sensationally good. Will Gasparino leaves Austin, Texas, goes to UCLA, and it turns into Mike Trout. And the guy's hitting homers seemingly every at bat. He's got 10 homers.
He's got 10, right? Yeah.
Already. So like UCLA is a complete team. A&M was without two of their best hitters, and if you think about that UCLA lineup, take out Levu, the first baseman, and take out Roman Martin, the third baseman, who hit 3 and 4 for them, and they look a lot different. Just like if you take a Copian and Wesley Jordan out of A&M's lineup, it looks a lot different. Look, they got to get those guys healthy. This team has, it's admirable what they've done. It's encouraging what they've done. I just don't know that they're going to have the staying power without Chris Akopian and Wesley Jordan offensively, and it changes so much of their lineup. Terrence Keeler has had a sensational season up to this point. I don't think that this lineup is the best with TK hitting leadoff. If you can hit TK 6th, 7th, or 8th, then we're talking about a real lineup that's going to take you places. And we talked about it on Friday in the baseball hour. If you get Hakopian and Wesley Jordan healthy, then you look at the top 5 in that lineup and you're going, these are like guys that can really hurt you extra base wise over the fence. And then the back half of the lineup with like Jake Dewar being the swing guy in the middle, you're going, this half of the lineup puts pressure on you to score 1 run and get on base at the bottom. Boston Kellner is awesome.
Yeah.
He's an incredible player. He's so mature for his age and has been immensely important for this team at shortstop. If he's hit 9th, this lineup is extremely good. Extremely good. So I understand everybody wanting to get Hakopian and Wesley Jordan back. I want them to come back. I want them to just have some at-bats to get lathered up, to get ready for SEC play. But if they don't play in the next 5 games, the midweek tomorrow, the 3 games this weekend, the midweek next week, it is to make sure that they are fully healthy to go when the team travels to Norman.
But his body language, now I'm trying to be a CIA body language, what do they call it? They had that role.
You like looking at.
Okay, let's not go there. But he seemed to be comfortable with where they are.
Yeah, who wouldn't be at 10-1, right? And,
no, I meant where those two players are.
Yeah. An abundance of caution, and it was clear. Like he said, Chris Akopian was ready to play. His first at bat, he rockets the ball out of the yard, and you're going, oh, yeah, we forgot how good this guy is because we haven't seen him for an extended period. And, we're getting further and further away from Wesley Jordan whenever he was the best hitter on the team when they were going really good offensively for the first, 6 games. And I think it's encouraging, again, that they are 10-1 as a club whenever your fully fit lineup has played in 2 of those games. Does Chris Akopian and Wesley Jordan help you or flip the outcome against UCLA?
Might feel better.
Probably not. but it does extend the lineup. And, those hard hit balls that you had, they're going to hit the ball hard as well. It just kind of ups your chances of being competitive in the game. But, no, man, 10-1, like if I'd have told you that going into the year, you're like, yeah, 10-1 after the first 4 weeks.
What were they at this point last year? Like 7-3 maybe?
Yeah, they went 1-2 in that Houston tournament.
Yeah.
Remember, they had lost the midweek to Texas State. You have to go back and look, but yeah, and it just didn't feel great, right? The offense was going through these massive doldrums.
We were talking about it; just didn't look right.
Right,
Yeah.
and you struggled to find like an identity for the team, and there wasn't a lot of adjustments being made. Like it definitely looks different. Does that mean that they're going to go 10-1 every 11 games of the season? We're 20% of the way through the year. It's a 54-game season. I don't think they're going to go, whatever that would be, 40 and 4. Well, they could go 40, like 50 and 4, or 49 and 5. Like they're not going to do that. But you'd have to be like just so dead set on or so scarred from last season that you are being willfully ignorant to say that this doesn't look different so far. Every metric, like number that even a baseball layman can look at, goes, oh yeah, this is better. This is different.
It looks better. It feels better. They were 6-4 at this point last year. Bronny, I don't know, but Virginia, the SEC is so deep, so this might not be a fair question. But you look at Arizona State and Virginia Tech. What level of SEC team would they be? Middle of the pack, lower tier? Like, I'm just trying to understand.
I can tell you this: on Friday nights, Virginia Tech could be competitive with anybody in the league because of that starter, and Team USA kid, and looked really good. And A&M really didn't separate until he came out of the game in the 6th inning. So I think Virginia Tech with him, and then a couple of guys in the middle of the order, like there's their 3-hole hitter, Ethan Ball. He's a true freshman. We'll see how long he stays in Blacksburg. Like he went to Globe Life and like really, really impressed me every time I watched him. And so if he's impressing me, he's impressing Josh Elander and Michael Earley and Brian O'Connor at Mississippi State and John Savage at UCLA. So like that's the nature of the beast now. It is what it is.
Right.
But, I think Virginia Tech on Friday nights would be kind of with anybody. And then Arizona State, I don't think this is kind of the flip side of Virginia Tech. Arizona State, I don't think you got the best look at because that was their 5th game in 6 days.
And they pitched everybody on Saturday, right?
And they had burned through some of their best arms. So the encouraging part for me with with Arizona State was that they are offensive. And you held them to 3 runs, and most of the damage was done on solo homers. It was it a 2-run homer then a solo homer? So I think that's what it was. Like they scored all their runs on 2 homers, and that was without Aiden Sims being very sharp at all. Like that was by far the worst he's been this year because he'd been so good in his previous starts. So I was encouraged by how the staff managed Game 3. Obviously, the offense was on first base a ton in Game 3. Like they got plenty of hits, but what the separator there was they got to first base a ton, and that is what Michael Earley offenses do. They get to first base, and I thought that was the differentiating factor yesterday. The Aggies got to first base, and then they made it. They were good with runners on base, like they got their hits with runners on, and Arizona State was unable to do that. And it's a credit to the Aggie bullpen, who was fresh due to how the games on Friday and Saturday had gone. So the staff knew that. They went in, and Sims wasn't sharp. They kind of let him work through some jams in the 4th inning and went back out there for the 5th. And then, you saw Darden, who has been immense this year so far, gotten the most high leverage outs on the pitching staff without question has been Ethan Darden out of the bullpen. And then Fresh Corn continues to be really, really sharp early on in the year. So it was an encouraging weekend. Was it excellent? Is it going to make everybody in the national media go, oh, this ain't
for real, yeah.
No, but it was good, and it kind of keeps you ticking on and moving in the right direction.
Before I let you go, similar question to Early, but just from your perspective. Are they about what you thought they'd be at this point? Above, below, considering they haven't had that consistent
that's
lineup?
The question is like, I don't know. It's hard to evaluate how good this team is without Chris Hakopian and Wesley Jordan playing an extended period of time and building some continuity within the lineup. I have been encouraged. I'm kind of upbeat and positive about the rotating, revolving door of the guys that have filled in. But I'm a huge Travis Chestnut fan. He is an important piece to this team. he kind of runs his course, though, as a starter. So, like, you get him off the field, let him go sit by the coaches. He's a great piece to plug and play at the end of games. And that's kind of, he had gotten a little bit stale in the lineup. They get him out, and then Benderup comes in. And Benderup has a good night. Benderup's been good in the limited appearances that he's gotten so far this year. Will Benderup run his course? And then you got to flip it again. Like, you're going to have to keep kind of mixing and matching until you get Hakopian and Wesley Jordan back fully healthy for an extended period of time. That's not good, but it is good, right? Because you're kind of learning about the depth of your team. It would not surprise me, given this 5-game stretch, that we see Ben Royo play, because we know what he can do if he's given enough at bats. He hit 10 homers last year in limited time, but he got passed up. I'm just going to call it, like, be candid. He got passed up on the depth chart by all these guys that are playing in front of him. But deep down, they know what his upside is. So could you run him out there for 4 of these 5 games in the next week just to get him some confidence? And if he starts hitting the ball over the fence again, you're going, there's another piece.
Right.
So they got a lot of mixing and matching, a lot of coaching still to do with those 2 guys out. But it's hard for me to definitively say how good this team is when we've only seen the highest upside version of it twice.
Right. Ronnie, thank you, buddy.
Yep.
All right, we're talking Rollo Insurance now. The difference is real. Check them out. You get a personal agent, a direct phone number, and just great quality customer service. They are the official insurance provider of this show. That's why we call the studio the Rollo Insurance Studio. The difference is real. 60 offices in the great state of Texas. Whether it's home, auto, or business insurance, or even ranch insurance, start a relationship with an expert who puts you first, that knows your situation, and they will provide a customized protection plan that other places cannot offer. When you need advice or have a claim, you'll speak directly with someone who's going to take amazing care of you. That is the Rollo difference. As I mentioned, the difference is real. Check out rolloinsurance.com/TexAgs, rolloinsurance.com/TexAgs, or call them up, 888-44-ROLLO. That is 888-44-ROLLO. Aggies are in the danger zone right now, losing 6 of 8. It's TexAgs Live, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers, Rollo Insurance Studio. We go from baseball to basketball. We go to the Puppy's Catering and Bartending Hotline. Mark French. Buddy, I apologize. I know you texted me. I got back to you like 12 hours later. That Indianapolis trip, man, my sleep schedule was off, buddy. How are you?
No worries, Nuño. I'm doing well this morning, and the sky's not falling near as much as I think people think, but we're going to be all right. And yeah, good Aggie baseball. Watched that game. Watched a couple games over the weekend. So a lot of good things going on.
All right, so I got to ask you this. The sky does feel like it's falling to me, but where there's still time to fix it, right? I mean, you go 2-6 in February. It's a rough month. We knew it was going to be tough, but the games you had to have, you didn't. Like, I think you really had to have Missouri. You didn't get it. I think you had to have Texas. You didn't get it. So help me understand why you still feel pretty good about where they are with 2 games left.
Yeah, well, I think the biggest thing when I say the sky isn't falling, what I'm saying is there's still, your opportunity to be in the tournament and to, anything can happen once you get there. And so what they've done is they've positioned themselves because of how well they played early on in conference to, have a little bit of a lull here. I think, in 2018 when we went to the Sweet 16, I think we had a 4 or 5 game skid. I remember Admon was out. We were banged up, weren't hitting shots, just zero mojo. And you kind of weather the storm, and basketball is just kind of a weird game like that, where suddenly one player clicks into place and you're looking at a completely different team. And for me, that's why I want them to stay in the fight. It'd be awesome to go beat Kentucky on Tuesday. And really, Nuño, I was thinking about this. We're really just one player away on the wing who can hit shots from winning a few of these. This season, in my opinion, is going to come down to whether Rylan Griffin and Ruben Dominguez, whether one of them can show up in a 10-point per game capacity the rest of the way. So if one of those 2 guys can make shots, suddenly, we're close. Like these games are going down to the stretch, even if sometimes like Arkansas pulled away. But it really comes down to shooting. And one little tangent here. Not to get off course, but I always say that like in football, wide receivers are the engine of the modern college football offense, right? We felt that in year 1 under Elko, right? It's not fun to have wide receivers who can't get open because suddenly they're stacking the box. You don't feel explosive. No one fears you, right? The defensive version of that in college football would be like twitchy DNs who can get home to the quarterback, right? Well, in basketball, the translation is shooting, right? A little bit simpler comparison, but when you have guys who can knock down shots from deep, stretches the defense, it allows them to feel like there's a flow to the offense. You play harder on the other end of the floor. Right now, we're just not hitting shots, guys. If you look at some of the box scores, it's really simple. It's like we're not shooting the ball well. Arkansas, we were 8 of 25 from 3. Texas, what did we end up? We were 5 of 19. And with Bucky's style, you got to be able to hit shots. And I really think we can still be in the fight. And I think, but it's going to come down to Ruben or Rylan has to step up and make shots if this thing is going to go.
Why are the shots not falling now? Obi and I were talking about he doesn't buy that they're tired legs. Is it the scouting reports? Are guys pressing, harder schedule? This is what happens. What do you think?
Yeah, so I'm with OB. We're not buying the tired legs narrative, and we're not going to allow that narrative to get started either. All these teams play hard. Florida plays a similar style to us. They want to get up and down. Auburn, Alabama in years past. All these teams are getting up and down. So let's just go ahead and nip that in the bud right now. I do think what's happened is some of these higher-end SEC teams have unbelievable length, particularly on the wings. And when it's a different feeling of, when they contest a shot, it does throw off, it throws some things off from a shooting mechanics and just psychology perspective. I was at that Florida game. It just stuck out to me. Like every time Ruben shot, there was a high point contest from these guys that are, 6'8" plus. I felt like Arkansas has that length. And then I think what happens is after those games, it kind it can get in your head. And then even teams like OU or Ole Miss or Texas, sometimes you're not in rhythm because you've been playing these teams that have NBA length and you're not used to shooting against that. That's what I think it is. It's a combination of athleticism and then the length, particularly on the wings, paired with the scouting report. All these teams know if Rylan and Ruben go off, we can beat anybody, right? That's what's amazing about it. And I hate to circle those two, but the more I've stared at this team, given that M'Baku's out, those guys plus Clements have to hit shots. And Zach's been better. But if we want to do, we're at the end of the year. So there's no more, let's let the narrative develop. It's like, all right, this is the team we have, and we're either going to make shots and we're going to win some games in March, or we're not. Those three guys, Griffin, Dominguez, Clements, maybe don't make shots, and it's going to be a tougher, grind it out type of win. So does that make sense?
Yeah. Do you think this Kentucky game, in your eyes, is a must-win? Like, because Obi and I were talking about 10 wins could get them in, but 10 wins with a Kentucky win might be the 10th that you need.
Yeah, and candidly, there is a recency bias in the selection process. I think we've seen that play out. I have friends all across the industry that would say the same thing. It's frustrating to them because sometimes the work you do earlier in the season or earlier in conference play doesn't get rewarded. And so, yeah, if Bucky wanted a feather in the cap moving forward into Selection Sunday, I think obviously the Kentucky win would be awesome. I would say if they drop that one, you obviously have to then go beat LSU, and you probably got to win one, maybe even two in Nashville. So I think let's err on the side of caution. Let's go ahead, and I think Kentucky's gettable. They're playing pretty good basketball. They're really talented, obviously. But if we play desperate and are able to hit some shots, I mean, like I said, there's no one in the country I don't feel like we can compete with. But we have to be able to hit shots because that's the engine of the modern college basketball offense and the team, really.
So do you see what you find it very fixable, what we're seeing? Like it's a stretch now, right? So we're talking about they're not best basketball this last month. But if a third guy steps up, these games maybe don't look the way they've looked.
No, it's crazy. Like, just imagine if you were able to just say, all right, we know what we're getting from Aggie, we know what we're getting from Hill, and then you were to tell me one of Ruben or Ryland's going to have 15 points, I'm like, all right, well, we'll play with anybody. And so it's not like a style of play that needs fixing. I love the style of play. I love that we pick up full court even on misses, right? I think some of it is just like the old adage of like, it's not X's and O's, it's the Jimmies and the Joes. They're playing hard, they're fighting like crazy, on the rebounding and on the boards. And so Pop's playing a little bit better, which helps. I do think one of the best lineups we have right now is Pop and Marcus together in the backcourt with Aggie, Clements, and then one of Rylan, Ruben, or Deba. I think that's your big game lineup. I think there's certain games where only certain lineups should primarily play. Like when I was in school, my last year when I was playing a lot, like LSU and Kentucky weren't good matchups because of my size. But if we play Vandy, who was good, or some of these other teams, you can get away with it and you can have success. Similarly, I think with this team at the guard positions, Marcus and Pop, maybe a little bit more than Jakari and Josh, can have success against these teams with more NBA-type length and athleticism. And similarly, I think Deba on the wings and Clements can sometimes help you on defense and offense a little bit more than maybe even like a Ruben who can struggle on defense at times. And so I think there are some matchup things you can do, but at the end of the day, this thing's going to come down to can Clements, Dominguez, and Griffin hit some outside shots to alleviate pressure on Aggie and to allow Marcus and Pop to get downhill, which then snowballs into us being able to play fast, right? And create the chaos that Bucky's after.
So 12 threes a game at one point was kind of like what we got used to.
Yep.
A little bit closer to the single digits recently. Is that maybe the secret ingredient, like to get back for this team to win these next two? If we're hitting between 11 and 14 threes, do you think these losses now look like wins?
Yeah, I do. I mean, I think there's two things. It's 3-point shooting and turnovers. So at Arkansas, we had 16 turnovers. Obviously, point of emphasis coming back against Texas, we only had 7 turnovers, right? So I think it's a combination of turnovers and hitting shots. I think 10 threes would be kind of the money mark for me. If we could get up to 12, that's how you're going to beat Arkansas, the Kentuckys, be able to hang in there with Florida a little bit better than we did. And so I think shooting for us is upstream of so many other things, like being able to set the press, being able to create that chaotic environment that we thrive in. And when you're not hitting, what it does is it kind of destabilizes the other areas where we thrive if the shots are falling. And so, yeah, I would say 10-3. Here's their formula: is it would be like 10 threes, less than 10 turnovers. And then I'd love to see that assist number get back up to like 15 to 18. Texas, we only had 10 assists. And then Arkansas, I think where did we end up with? We had 18 assists, felt a little bit better. But yeah, I think that'd be my formula.
Mark, I appreciate it, buddy. Hopefully next time we talk, we're talking about a team that's got 11 wins and going to the SEC tournament feeling good.
Hang in there, man. Basketball's a fickle game, so we're going to be all right.
Yes, sir. Always love your optimism. Right. Thank you, Mark.
Bye, guys.
Mark French there on the Bubby's Catering and Bartending Hotline. We'll hit a break. We will come back with an open segment before Billy joins us there for the 10 o'clock hour. Brazos Running Company, those are our friends. They're locally owned, and they're operating a specialty running store with an outstanding selection of running gear, shoes, you name it. They've got the Brooks, they got On, they got Hoka, they got it all. If you're a runner, if you're interested in fitness at all, the right shoe makes all the difference in the world, and that's why I love the Brazos Running Company. They helped me find my shoes. I got some Hokas from them not long ago, and they put me through, just a little, not even a workout, more just like seeing how I move, and they found the right shoe for me. They have Vuori, they have Duck Camp, they got Turtle Box, they got Stanley Cups. It is the Brazos Running Company, and they also have a sister company, maceandhay.com. They make Aggie pajamas. You got to check it out, maceandhay.com. Brazos Running Company at the Century Square below the Star Cinema Grill in College Station. All right, we're back. TexAgs Live, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers, Rollo Insurance Studio. Let's go back to the Angry Elephant and News and Social Center. I know you got something good for us, Ms. Dorsey.
I do. Someone in the YouTube chat earlier said Florida exposed
Who's
us.
the someone?
Oh, Ja Buntley.
Jabuntley.
Jabuntley, yeah.
Jabuntley.
Florida exposed us. If you shut down the guards and force the bigs to shoot the threes, you're going to win. And how can we effectively do that?
I don't think that's like a, I don't think that's like a brainiac coaching decision. I think that's, you try to take what the team does really well. And what does A&M do well? They shoot the three and they penetrate, right? Yes, Florida being one of the most elite teams in the country, along with the SEC, probably be a 2 seed when the NCAA tournament selection committee decides people's future. Yeah, I mean, I don't think that the game plan that they did necessarily is why A&M has been losing these games. I think A&M isn't getting enough production from other guys. And is that because they're shutting down guards? I think Ruben Dominguez has been struggling since the 5th game, right? So they've got to have a third person step up. Zach Clemens stepped up a couple games ago, had 29. You got to have 2-3 guys. And look, Texas started the game well. They started the second half well. And there was just like this feel that A&M had to play catch up all game long. I want to see A&M play with a lead. It's been a minute since I've been able to see that. I think if they play with a lead, you're going to feel so much better about the brand of basketball this team plays. If they beat Kentucky here this week, does that change everything? No, but it certainly puts you on the right part of the ledger. It puts you at 10 wins with a marquee win and an opportunity to finish the season with 11. It's a big if, and the way A&M has played recently, you don't see how they'd win. But I'll remind you, these games, the last couple, the Arkansas game was not good, but there was a point in that game it was close. Get back to how you were playing, the the Oklahoma Ole Miss game. Those are against lesser teams, so it's easy to say that's the team I want to see. I just want to see a team that hits a bunch of threes and attacks the rim.
When they were at their best when in that little 2-game stretch against Georgia and Alabama, even though you lose against Alabama, that's still probably some of the best basketball they've played all season.
I agree with that.
Is Kentucky a must-win for you?
Yeah. Does that mean if they lose, they don't have a way into the tournament? No, but I don't know if 10 is going to. I think 10 can get you in. And I know I've said the right 10. I don't know how much the SEC tournament's going to help you if you do go on a run. It hasn't helped A&M much in the past, so I don't know. So let's just finish the recency bias that Mark French was talking about. Let's finish with some wins, and I think we'll feel a lot better. We'll hit a break. We'll come back with more. You're listening to TexAgs Live, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers. And we're back. It is TexAgs Live. We are presented by David Gardner's Jewelers. We are in the Rollo Insurance Studio. Should have Billy in studio at some point over the next few minutes. If you want to be a part of the conversation, you've got a question for Billy, you got a text, you want to chat, you name it, 979-693-1150. That is the Catalyst Pure Performance Energy text line. You can also call us up on the Buppy's Catering and Bartending Hotline, 979-693-1150. We go back to the Angry Elephant News and Social Center. Ms. Dorsey's got on TexAgs today.
Well, we have a lot on the site, so reminder if you haven't already, it's a great time to become a TexAgs premium subscriber, so visit texags.com/subscribe to sign up. We have coverage from the NFL Combine, all the guys' interviews, and information from what the TexAgs staff saw each day. Men's basketball recap from OB discussing the improvements that its team can make to be successful in March. A women's basketball recap from Justin Paez with Joni's Taylor 5th straight win. A baseball article talking about the 2-1 series with Richard. Softball series recap with Kate Munnerland's perfect game for A&M in 20 years. And then later today, we have men's and women's basketball press conferences and baseball thoughts from Bronny, sponsored by Bach Realty.
Good stuff. Appreciate that. Let's hear what some of the people are saying. You can check the premium chat. You can check the YouTube. You can check the text line. What's kind of the mood today?
A lot of people are talking about baseball. Whenever Michael Earley was in here, they were saying finishing 2 strike counts on the mound need to be the focus of these next few games. So many 0-2 and 1-2 counts when opponents were getting hits because the pitch was elevated or catching was too much for the plate. And then, let's see. Talking about KC. A lot of people were talking about KC and how great of a person he is with going on social media and talking about his speech impediment and how it really touched some people and has been able to, it just showed how great of a person he is to all of social media.
Yeah, I love KC. I think he, not only do I love him because of his production on the field, right? But I just think my encounters with him, how we see him handle everything. Look, let's not forget the finished product that KC was last year. We did have some questions, right? And I think that's a part of Coach Elko's brilliance is that there have been other people that have come to Texas A&M that have transferred that you had these big expectations, but I don't know how often they come and they not only meet those expectations, they exceed those expectations. And I don't think there was anybody out there today, a year ago, that was thinking that KC was going to be the player that he became. We thought he'd be really good, really, really good, and maybe that missing ingredient. But they hit last year so much with these wide receivers in the portal, right? There is no doubt in my mind that they, both Mario Craver and Casey Concepcion, exceeded expectations. No doubt in my mind that Cassius Howell exceeded expectations. I would say a year prior that Nick Scorton probably met expectations, if not slightly below my expectations. But he's turned out to be a great NFL player. Mm-hmm. Right? He had a really nice rookie year. But you look through, and that's why I like the Ricky Gibsons of the world. That we look at him, we're like, people forgot about this kid, what he did at Tennessee, right? They forgot because he didn't play. His ability to, and I was listening, so this morning I went back and I listened to Coach Elko with Billy, and he spoke a lot about Julian Humphrey, right? Mm-hmm. He spoke a lot about, there's a lot of guys on this roster that have been waiting their turn to step up. I think Humphrey is one of those guys. I think Terry Bussey, who has played but probably hasn't reached the pinnacle of what we expect from him. So there's that. Let's go to the Buppy's Catering and Bartending Hotline. We're talking to Billy Liucci. Billy, good morning, buddy.
Mr. Nuño, what's happening?
How are you, sir?
I'm good. What are you up to?
I'm just talking, right now I'm talking football, but I thought maybe you and I could start with some basketball. The three-point shot has kind of left A&M recently, buddy.
Can you hear me? Because you sound awful.
You sound amazing.
Maybe the worst you've ever sounded.
I don't think you've ever sounded better. That's kind of how I feel about you right now.
I know you asked me something about basketball.
Yep.
That part I deciphered. I don't know what.
I basically made a comment. I didn't even ask, because this is a conversation. We're not asking, I'm not interviewing you. We're discussing basketball. And I just said the 3-point shot hasn't been there recently.
No, it sure as heck hasn't, has it? And I may be wrong on this. There might have been a game where it was really there, but I feel like the last time it was where they were really knocking them down was that first half against Missouri, where it was just incredible. And, they ended up losing that game, and it just really hasn't seemed to be there since. I'm thinking, Arkansas since then, Ole Miss, who's the other win they had, Oklahoma. It just hasn't, they haven't shot it like they have. And everybody, I think, the first person they look at is like Rubin, because he was so hot during the first half of the season and even early in conference play, and now just can't seem to find it. But really, it's just been overall, and they just haven't. I think the book is out on them. I think Bucky's referenced that, and teams are really starting to hug up to that 3-point line. I think, when the Aggies went and won in Austin, they adjusted at halftime, and they were hitting those backdoor, the cuts, and getting layups out of it and dunks, and ate Texas up with that action, and the Longhorns took that away on Saturday as well. And I think that you've seen a lot of turnovers in that phase of A&M's game too. Kind of like people know what they're going to try to do when you get out there and guard them. So it's almost like this team is kind of, they're just hanging in. They're hanging in. They built up a lot of, say, resume goodwill during the first half of conference play, and now it feels like they're hanging on by a thread. There's no doubt, but you're just sitting here going, man, can they shoot well against this Kentucky team? Because again, when you play the Alabama, the Tennessee, the Texas, the Arkansas, the teams, Florida, obviously, the teams that have recruited at a very high level for a long time, and traditionally and historically do, A&M's giving up so much in the paint and near the basket. It's like the shots have to fall. They have to, because Aggie's the only one that's going to get you stuff on the inside, and occasionally Clemens, which unfortunately he was unable to do on Saturday. So, I mean, it's almost like you got to just be sitting here hoping that shots fall tomorrow night, which is asking a lot, because, again, they've got length. They get out there on the perimeter, and they've got length, and you're not really going to blow by them. And if you do, they're going to have shot blockers underneath. It's a tough deal. But, again, I think they're a win on Tuesday away from being in.
Yeah, Billy, I think that more than the LSU game, but I think if you beat Kentucky, you're in. I can't, and I would love for them to take care of business against LSU, but I think if you do beat Kentucky and that is your 10th win, you're in the tournament.
I think so too. I mean, I think here's your deal. You can either beat Kentucky and probably be in. Now, look, there's also a world. You're getting in the weeds a little bit, but if you went and lost at LSU and then dropped a first-round game to South Carolina, you might put yourself squarely back in jeopardy. But, by and large, if you beat your two paths to getting in seem to be and I know there's more. This thing, there could be a really weak bubble. But if you pass or beat Kentucky tomorrow night at home, or win road LSU, neutral South Carolina, and probably neutral Texas to get in, because South Carolina and LSU are really doing nothing. LSU on the road actually does a little for your resume, for sure, but you get what I'm saying. To oversimplify it, you can win one game at home against Kentucky, or you may have to win 3 away from Reed Arena against LSU, South Carolina, and Texas. Which one do you want?
Billy, I just found out that Bucky's going to join us at 10:15, so let me hit a break here, and we can get back on track with Bucky on the other side.
Perfect.
All right.
I'm here.
All right. Billy Liucci there on the Bucky's Catering and Bartending Hotline. We'll hit a break. We'll come back with Bucky McMillan. Right now, we're talking about real peace of mind when it comes to your money, and that starts with the right team. That right team is still Aggie-owned Paragon Financial Advisors, an independent fiduciary serving clients all across Texas. We're talking no commissions, no sales pitches. There's just trusted advice tailored to you. They have a team of 18 professionals, including over 9 CFPs, a CFA, and a CPA, and their expertise runs deep. And at Paragon, credentials matter, and so does your future. Visit paragon-adv.com or call them up, 979-693-3907. That's 979-693-3907 to schedule your free consultation today. It is Paragon Financial Advisors, integrity, expertise, and trust. Paragon Financial Advisors. one rep at a time, one game at a time. It's TexAgs Live. We're presented by David Gardner's Jewelers, Rollo Insurance Studio. Billy giving me the business. He's in studio, as is Luke Evangelist. What was that look for,
Giving
Luke?
you the business?
I don't know. Let's go to the Buffy's Catering and Bartending Hotline. We are joined by Bucky McMillan. Bucky, good morning, sir. How are you?
Hey, guys. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So I guess we'll start things off with February was a tough month. New month here in March. Do you feel like the results are coming? You're seeing something positive in the last couple losses?
Yeah, I mean, I did not, like I said, we've gone through in February. I mean, it's just the toughest part of the schedule. There's games that we played good in and got some wins. There's games we played good in and didn't come out on top, and then there's some games that we didn't play well. I didn't think we played well at Vanderbilt. I thought the Missouri game, even though they're really a good team, we played well on offense. Our defense wasn't up to par. And then there's just been some of our guys who just didn't play as well as they were earlier. So, I don't get so results-oriented with everything where it's like you win, you play good, you lose, you play bad. And but I do know this. It's some of our guys who were just kind of all playing an A game. I mean, if they could shoot 40% from three in a game, that's their peak, man. All four of those guys kind of did it, And we saw that at Oklahoma where we played well. We didn't see it there versus Texas. Obviously, we didn't play as well as we would like to. So it is what it is. But we got a great opportunity here versus Kentucky, and I mean, again, I think we're totally in control of our own destiny. But it takes an A game. It's going to take an A game from our group versus these really good teams.
Coach, you mentioned playing an A game. What conversations are you having with guys like Jakari and Rylan and Ruben just to keep them confident, to get them back to playing their A game consistently? I know you're having those conversations with all your players, but it seems like Rashawn Agee always brings his A game. You can always count on Marcus Hill when he's healthy. What more are you doing to maybe get some of those other guys back on track so that everybody's playing your A game in March?
Well, I think, all those guys, and we've mentioned this time of year, like it becomes a matchup game. It becomes more of a one-on-one game in a lot of ways. I mean, this is going to be every team across the country this time of year. I'm not saying there's not team basketball. That's inevitable. But there's not a lot of trickery going on this time of year. So you have to take the game personal. And you can tell when Rashawn Agee plays, he takes that thing personal. Mm-hmm. It is him versus that guy he's guarding, vice versa. It is him versus that guy to get that loose ball. And this time of year, I did think our players took it personal in the Texas game. I really did. I think they took their matchups personal. It just didn't work out that night. We got to be honest with ourselves too. There's a lot of the really good players that we're playing against. That Jakari may not get the best of his matchup every night. Rylan may not get the best of his matchup. Ruben may not get the best of his matchup. But they got to give everything they can. And someone's got to get the best of their matchup, in another way to make up if someone doesn't win their matchup. And I think that when we play Kentucky, who has three elite guards, like really, really elite guards, I know we were going to get it from our forward play the way that Zach and Rashawn have been playing. We're going to need our guards to really, really take it personal and really try to win two of those three matchups at those three guard positions.
Bucky, I got a two-parter for you. The first one is, what's your message this week? Because I know that crowd Saturday was awesome, and I know how badly you guys want them all back for this one. You say control your own destiny. No better opportunity, right? There's a couple games left in SEC play. It's the final home game of the year, and you're playing the Big Blue Nation and the Kentucky Wildcats. How much does it mean to get the 12th man back out there into Reed Arena tomorrow night? Because I just feel like whatever y'all's chances of winning are, it's enhanced significantly with the kind of crowds we've seen for, say, a couple of these games down the stretch, especially Saturday.
No, it was unbelievable, and I know our guys, man, they hurt, and I know the 12th man being there, we hurt when we don't come out on top. But again, we got a chance here to get our last home game versus a Kentucky team that's a projected tournament team who obviously there's been some great games with them through the years in Reed Arena. This group has a chance to get to 11 league wins. If we get this game. I mean, that's finish. You can go look at it. I don't get way up there. I don't know if you get a double bye. We're dang sure we get a bye in the SEC tournament. So we're playing for a lot. This is the last home game of the season. The impact of this result to this game may be greater than the last one because Kentucky ranked a little bit higher than Texas is, right? So we got to come at this the same way we did in the Texas game. That, hey, kind of backs against the wall mentality, but, hey, you got still everything to gain. And if we can get this one and rally together, we're in total business. And can in this league play, and Luke would know this better, our group last year was great, had a great team, and I can't remember what we're in league play. Luke would know, 11-7, and maybe be able to do the same deal last year with a lot of momentum heading right into the SEC tournament into March Madness. And we want to make everybody proud. We want to make the 12th man proud, that's for sure. And, we want to win every game. Dang sure it's not going to lose a game based on effort. And that's what we want everybody there. Let's give a great effort in the last game, our last home game.
Bucky, these mirror games, and we'll be talking next week about another one against LSU, but what was if you had to pinpoint just, let's say, one thing, the biggest difference in the game in Austin and the game in here Saturday, because kind of similar in the result in that basically you guys, 1 point lead at halftime, tie game at halftime, got a little cushion there in the first 5 minutes of the second half, and then just kind of arm's length most of the way. It's similar, but truly mirror images. What was the biggest difference for you guys this week? Or I guess for Texas, what did they do?
Well, if you kind of look at it, it was a 2-point game at the 6-minute mark, and it ends up being a 6-point, 2-possession loss. But you think back to when we were at Texas, we go, Ja'Carri makes a huge three there late in that game, off the dribble going left. Pop pulls a off the dribble three going left, makes it. Ryland bangs in 2 deep threes.
Yeah.
And the shot by Carr and the shot by Pop and one of these by Ryland weren't as open at Texas as some of the shots that we might have had in the last game, or Ryland like the first play of the game.
Yeah.
And so that was kind of, we made those really tough plays that it takes to win those games. If you take it to the Texas game, hey, we're covering them up right there at Mack in the corner, and he makes a extremely tough shot from the left corner with them all covered up.
Yeah.
They make a couple pull-ups there that are really tough pull-ups. They make a 3-ball that got to hit the Raptors and goes in. And sometimes what I'll just say is, we make one of those, they miss 2 of those, we win. And at their place, it was kind of, we were the team that made 2 or 3 of those, and they missed 1 or 2 of those, and we came away with it.
Yeah.
When you're playing when 2 even teams get together this time of year, it can really be that simple. Defensively, I thought both teams played great defense. I mean, there just wasn't really many lapses on either team. They're both battling. Just this time of year, you're going to see it. It's as you approach March, it's going to be that simple. A shot here, shot there. And you'll look back at the end of the day and you'll say which key players played well. And usually when you add that up, and that's going to be in the Kentucky game, if we have more than them, probably going to win the game.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that sounds too simple, but really as you approach March, that's really kind of what happens. And that's what we got to take ownership in. And that's not a negate. Look, I'm going to say that. That's not a coach. What are you here for? Well, I'm here to help these guys, to give them confidence so that everything will be in that position, so that we are in that position, that we can get guys in position where they can play well, they can play well in space. So that doesn't mean, like, oh, Coach, you're just going to sit in the back seat. No, I'm saying it like this, that when we get lined up, we're going to negate those actions. We got to find some stops in this game versus Kentucky. when we have an advantage, we got to finish through contact. We got to get to the free throw line and make our free throws, which we did do last game, because it's going to be a 1 or 2 possession game.
Bucky, I do want to focus on a positive. I think Marcus Hill's playing some of his best basketball this end of this stretch of the season. 20 points, 14 points, 8 points, 10 points, 17 in his last 5. Just how important has he been down the stretch?
He's been great, and I think you can tell with him he has a real intensity to him when he's playing right now. Like he was one of those guys like Rashawn that is built for March, if that makes sense to you, and you can see it. That it's just, hey, Marcus Hill and Rashawn Agee, if they brought back Hoop It Up 3-on-3 tournament, man, they would probably win the tournament every single year. And this is his time, man. This is Marcus's time, because he's that kind of guy. You know, we keep going back to winning matchups. Like he dreams of that. You know, he's a guy that plays one-on-one in the gym and play one-on-one for hours. So I think you'll see him have a great March here.
All right, Bucky, we appreciate your time, sir. Thank you very much for making a few minutes.
Appreciate you guys.
Thanks, Bucky. See you guys tomorrow.
Bucky McMillan there on the Buppies Catering.
Get to Reed Arena.
Yeah.
And eat Buppies. Both. Like, Luke, are you doing your Pack Reed propaganda this week? Or did you get, I don't see you doing that anymore.
Certain people have told me I shouldn't be doing that, but I will continue to be doing that.
Who are certain people?
Yeah.
You want to discuss it out
Go
loud?
ahead.
Richard.
Why?
I don't know.
Okay.
Just says I should separate myself from being a fan, but that doesn't mean I can't encourage people to support the team.
I think I like the change up of you as a fan. If we need to get a straight man in here for you to do more content with, we can. I like the dynamic of Luke, the TexAgs fan, just recently out of school, covering the team. I'll let you know if I feel like you're just cheerleading.
I've dialed it back, but I still encourage people to pack Reed, which everybody
How are you handling
should.
this stretch, by the way?
I'm doing okay.
You got a smile right now. I'm just curious.
I mean, they are very fortunate that the bubble is weak.
Yeah.
Any other year,
you can't backdoor into the tournament.
No, you can't. But they are somehow still in position. They have survived the 2-6 February because every other team on the bubble is imploding. They are very fortunate with what's going on around them that they still control their own destiny heading into March, which the last 2 times they were on the bubble, seems like every 2 years they didn't really control their own destiny that first year.
But I still think, thank God for the 2, because who'd have thought you'd have beaten Ole Miss with 10 minutes left in that one?
Mm-hmm.
And going on the road to win at OU is difficult right now. I mean, ask Auburn about that. Who else did
ask
OU
Georgia
clip?
about
Georgia
that.
got smoked up there.
So somebody just texted, and they brought it up football and basketball, but let's make it about basketball. Why A&M hasn't beaten good teams, and I think they have beaten good teams.
It's a stupid, okay.
Georgia,
you want
Texas,
me to go off?
They're the only bubble team with
dumbest-
3 quad 1A wins. They're one of the only teams in the SEC with 3 quad 1A
Didn't
road
Texas
wins.
just get their first quad 1A win with A&M?
Yeah.
Of the year?
A&M had 3 of them.
I'm so
That's why they're still in
tired.
the
I'm
bubble.
so tired of this. Let me beat myself up and let me woe is me and self-loathe on Twitter to make myself feel, or to be a comedian, or to fit in. Like Texas A&M football won. Yes, they lost the big games to Texas and Miami, but a lot of you jackasses are you want to take away from what your players, your classmates, your team, your coaches, your program did because of the way it finished. They went and beat Notre Dame on the road. It's one of the best wins of the season in college football. It was a game that most of the people who's now saying they didn't win anything important thought they had no chance to win. Oh, we're not going to beat Notre Dame. They went to Baton Rouge and Death Valley and won for the first time since I was in college. And when that game happened, it did matter. I mean, it's ridiculous to say it didn't. They went into Death Valley. They won at night at a time when LSU was in the top 15, and they beat the piss out of them. And by the way, no one that played LSU after that beat the piss out of them.
Yep.
2 playoff teams barely beat them.
Alabama
and Bama and OU.
Yep.
So They won big games, and I would contend going on the road and winning at Missouri is a big game. Like, it's not as big as Texas or Miami. Notre Dame was. Notre Dame was the biggest of the big when you beat them. Mm-hmm. So it's just we go so far out of our way to diminish and take away what our teams do because you're all up in your effing feelings. And it's fine. Like, it is bad to lose to Texas in any sport. And I'm glad basketball split with them. But I'm pissed off they lost at home. And you will not find – I'm right here with Luke as far as a fan of Bucky and wanting him and that team and those coaches to win. And also just watching the product and believing in it.
Yeah.
If I had never met any of those people, go, damn, they're doing a hell of an incredible job. Because even had they not gone 2-6 this month, they still control their own destiny.
Yeah.
And it's you know, like I said, beat Kentucky at home and you're probably in. Now there's a world where it could be an implosion, but I mean, you're probably in. The fact that we're talking about that is incredible. And yeah, they've lost some important games here lately, but so you're pissed they lost to Texas, so that counts as a big game. They don't win big games. So you don't count that they went into Austin and kind of like football did in Baton Rouge, won for the first time there since like I was in college.
Yeah.
It's insane that we can move that goalpost and move those targets like that and say it with a straight face. They won at Auburn when it was a big win. They went to Georgia, who's going to be in the tournament, beat them. They won in Austin. What are some? I'm leaving something out here.
Florida State's a pretty good win.
Florida State's looking better, but and I get what people are going to say. Well, I mean, when there's a lot of buildup, my ass. I just told you, Texas in Austin, Notre Dame in South Bend, LSU in Baton Rouge. Okay, so you don't think Georgia's good because they're not a basketball school. You won it against a tournament team on the road. They've done it, man. Yeah, it's ridiculous to have that narrative. I mean, and again, I was pissed off Saturday. You let Texas come in here and ruin your senior day. You know, you don't want to lose it. That game, those guys got in the tournament last year because they beat you in Nashville.
Yep.
And they punched their ticket on your senior day at Reed Arena. That's no, man. We're tired of that around here. But before you go after basketball, okay, we were also real tired of losing in Austin every time we went down there. And for the first time since they came back in the SEC, you know, one of the big three went down there into Austin and won and celebrated in their locker room, and the fans got to walk out of there happy. And by the way, handled it a lot better than I see the Texas fans handling their victory on Twitter. But
they don't realize that we're probably going to see each other in Nashville.
Yeah. Well, I said that to you, 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, and it's looking like a reality.
It's looming. So, yeah, hopefully, and wouldn't it be nice to get 2 out of 3 against them in year one under Bucky? And I understand Sean Miller's in year one. I actually was, from a distance, I've always really respected what a good job he's done. I know he got in trouble at Arizona, but it's freaking college basketball, man. Who are we villainizing here? Like, come on. But he got in trouble at Arizona. He was really good. And then Xavier really loved him last year when they knocked Texas out. I wish he wouldn't have brought his star player with him, but
he also got to inherit 3 starters.
Yeah. So I'm talking about what he has on that team. We know all about a couple of them. They've been nightmares for A&M, right? But he inherited a hell of a lot more. Yeah. Inherited/brought with him. And he's doing a great job in year one, but what Bucky's doing has been absolutely phenomenal.
Yep.
And again, I just say it one more time. Stop the crap of this. We don't want Texas A&M's been winning a lot of big things, and this crying, crap of the moments. Okay, so now you're also phasing out volleyball and saying that doesn't matter, which is fine if you're only a Big 3 sports guy and you want to do that, or girl, because you got some of them on Twitter too doing it, crying. If you're a Big 3 person, you say, I don't care about anything, if that's fine, then you scrub your Twitter history of all the victory lap and the joy and the celebration and tweeting through the Nebraska match and all of that too. Because I've never seen an A&M team go and win bigger than that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just it's crazy. Aggie baseball was so bad last year for much of the season. They had some massive big win moments that you guys all deemed really significant, but all we talk about is Missouri. They went and they smashed Tennessee. They went and they won a home series against LSU. That was
champion.
These teams were all 1, 2, or 3. They went on the road to Fayetteville and won 2 out of 3. Like this athletic department and program have won plenty of big games. We want them to win all of them. We want every team to be in the postseason. We want playoff berths. I get it, but you can be pissed about losing to Texas. You can be frustrated about the threat of coming all this way in year one and if the risk of fading and not making the tournament. You can be pissed about losing to Miami in the playoffs and going 11-0, then 0-2. Like all of those things is fine, but don't turn it into this narrative that A&M in recent history wilts in big moments, because this is not the case. I mean, just like almost any other program, you're not going to win all of them, but damn, like that is a absolute BS narrative that's rooted in, and I hate the phrase, the BAS. I think it is why we are what we are, because everybody just embraces it. But it's rooted in stuff that happened a long time ago. Elko always talks about that too. And you guys don't realize, if you have a head coach that regularly mentions it to you as a fan base, like it is a reputation that it was built before these coaches were here. And it's one that current coaches hate seeing from their fans. So if all you guys that are pissed off and crying on social media and just talking through your feelings, I'm not a fan of it. Your coaches aren't fans of it. Your players aren't fans of it. You're entitled to it. Just show up. So, like, don't come Saturday, throw in the towel because you lost to Texas and not show up on Tuesday, because no matter what you tweet, no matter what you post, if you're there cheering at the game, it's going to help. Just ask Luke, king of Pack Reed propaganda.
Retweet.
A moment for Caldwell Country Chevrolet. Highway 21 in Caldwell online. CaldwellCountryChevrolet.com. Your trade-in has value. And at Caldwell Country Chevrolet, they're ready to put that equity into a new vehicle for you and have it work for you. They have a great pre-owned inventory that moves fast, which means they're always looking for quality vehicles. So if you're thinking about maybe getting a new vehicle, trading one in, check out Caldwell Country Chevrolet. They have an experienced sales team that's going to find your worth, and they've got decades of combined experience. They know how to structure a deal that makes sense for you. No gimmicks, just honest people giving you a great deal there at Caldwell Country Chevrolet. It's about a 15-minute drive, the edge of Bryan, to the beginnings of Caldwell. A short conversation away, but you'll see the difference when you step on the lot and do business with the great people at Caldwell Country Chevrolet. Highway 21 in Caldwell online, CaldwellCountryChevrolet.com. And we're back. TexAgs Live, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers, Rollo Insurance Studio. Billy, I see you've done some research here.
I haven't. I just want it in front of me.
Combine experience, man. The best part
Not
for
a lot
me.
of stuff. Cooper could have done a little more.
Way to go, Coop.
I wanted to see.
Talking to LeBron. By the way, Michael
Actually,
Jordan's
not bad.
NASCAR team has won 3 in a row. Greatest of all time.
I really wanted to see crown overs totals. What'd you say?
The best part of, Cooper always talks about LeBron. So I had to bring up Michael. The best part of the combine, though, was seeing these guys. Like it was really nice to get some time with them. And I thought they handled themselves great at the podiums. They did a really good job.
While a lot of other people just aggregate on Twitter and engagement farm with other people's content, you guys were out there producing your own, which I was really proud that we did that.
Mm-hmm.
We'll revisit it, in the future if there's not 13 guys there, nation leading. We just thought this was a
unique opportunity.
Zane and I talked about it a lot. Thought it was a different opportunity. It was something to go out and kind of give a test run to. Probably don't need to, based on what you guys figured out when you're up there, don't need to send 4 again, but we'll probably send people depending on what A&M's combine presence is.
Yeah.
So I think, and then kind of, I like the way you guys kind of did a little bit of everything, and we figure out what played and what didn't. That was a fun exercise. I'm glad y'all went and did it. You knocked it out of the park.
Thank you.
As expected.
Appreciate you. We put some pressure on ourselves though. Because this was a test, right? An experiment, and
Speaking of experiments, can you put those glasses back on?
Do I look smarter when I put them on, or older, or both?
I mean, you look like I said the other day. You look like we're in chemistry lab.
Yeah. It's stylish.
We're about to do some like titrations and. Did you get your? Did you bring your Bunsen burner today, or did you leave it at home? Because if you did, we're going to be using them.
Let's see if you remember the periodic table.
Burner.
Na.
I don't know.
Sodium, I believe.
Sodium, yeah.
Wow.
PB. Lead. I can play this game all day.
I don't know I need it.
That's all I know, actually.
Now I'm going to have to go back and do like a sporkle and learn those, like I do like the countries of the world and the, all those type of things. I'm going to have to do the periodic table of elements. I didn't realize. I forgot that I was dealing with.
Professor Nuño.
Yeah. What's iron? Is that Fe?
No, iron is not that.
No, that's fair.
Iron's a different one. I can't remember.
What is iron?
Quick Google search.
Fe sounded right, to be honest.
Go ahead.
Fe.
Look at that. Smart Luch.
It's
It's 80 degrees, by the way, but I like that jacket.
It shouldn't be 80 in here. It is kind of hot.
It's a great jacket.
When I left this morning, there was a little breeze in the air.
Okay.
And I ate inside, which had air conditioning, so it was cold in there.
Did anything jump out at you from that?
No, I just thought a lot of guys did a good job. I think a lot of those guys did a good job. Zune with his bench press.
Mm-hmm.
I thought Cassius Howell with his first 10 was an eye opener for. I think that's what matters most. I think that 10-yard split for him. Bisantis, I thought, helped himself all the way around.
Yep.
May very well be a second rounder. Crownover. What was Crownover? 6'7" and 319 pounds. Ran a sub like a 5.15.
Yep.
I mean, I think he certainly helped himself. I don't know how high up he goes, but I think he's moving his way up draft boards, as is Will Lee, per the scouts that I talked to before the combine.
Yep.
They just like the more they watch him, the more they like him, and just feel like he's just kind of a rock solid guy. He did not run a good 40, third to last amongst the corners. But I think you pop in his tape, you see it's pretty good. But that 40 probably didn't help him. The vertical and broad jump, he was second in both, so showed a lot of explosive ability. So Will Lee's, his stock was rising heading in. Be interesting to hear what my people are saying coming out of it. But I thought in general they all really helped themselves, especially Albert Regis, who we talked about last week.
Yeah.
He really, and on Yedem is another guy that the scouts keep telling me, the more and more they watch tape, the the more and more impressive he is. I had a guy tell me he was, in his opinion, he's a longtime scout at NFL team. In his opinion, he's a day 2 guy on Yedem. So I think it's going to be really interesting when you look at like where some of these guys go, because you think of, okay, Casey Concepcion really helped himself out in every imaginable area. Casey's probably going round 1. Cassius, I still think will. It's late round 1, early round 2.
Yep.
It just depends on what that run on pass rushers is, because there's about a half dozen of them. He's probably in that back half of the half dozen, but could be 4, 5, or 6 there. I think it's probably him and Mesidor kind of right there towards the back 10 picks of that first 10 picks of the second. So you could have a couple first rounders. I think Besantis you could see in 2.
Yep.
And then, I mean, to me, like 2, 3.
Zune.
Crown over Zune. On Yedem, based on what my guy was saying. Those guys are probably more likely to me like 3, but you could see them in round 2. So I think those first 2 days of the draft are going to be really exciting for the Aggies. Is there anybody else I'm forgetting in those first 3? I'm not sure. But, I mean, you just mentioned, 3, 4, 5, at least probably 5, 6 guys. Probably 6 go in the first 3 rounds of the draft, which would be really, I don't know the last time that.
You mentioned Regis in that?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
And I haven't, and to be fair, I know how much he helped himself, but I haven't gone through and kind of made the phone calls yet to see where he's kind of not projected in the mock draft, but where he's thought of
after
in
the
some
combine.
NFL circles.
Yeah. We'll hit a break. We'll do another segment on the other side. If your organization or business is looking for an opportunity to engage with Aggies, then check out the Association of Former Students that brings Aggies of all ages together during their marquee events held throughout the year. We're talking about Aggie Rain Day, All Aggie Hullabaloo, and the gathering. They welcome tens of thousands of guests, and there are many sponsorship and vendor opportunities to get your brand in front of those attendees. And they offer a wide variety of both digital and in-person options to promote your brand. And this includes title sponsorship, naming, on-site presence, activation, and recognition in social media posts, and much, much more. There's also advertising opportunities in both the Texas Aggie Magazine and the Aggie News newsletter, which are seen by over 230,000 people. So if your business is ready to engage with Aggies, then choose a partner with the organization that's been supporting the Aggie Network for the last 140 years. For more information on options available through the association, please email sponsorships@aggienetwork.com. It is the Association of Former Students. Great time to be a premium subscriber because we're going to go long on this show. We only got a minute 30 left on the Zone and KBTX. So we're going to continue talking. Got a couple of football things to throw out at Billy when we start our overtime show, which will basically start as this show ends. Billy, in the last minute and as we start overtime, baseball, like, I didn't overreact to the loss to UCLA. It wasn't pretty, whatever. I'm looking at the bulk of work that we've seen so far. A&M's done exactly what they need to do. They're 10-1. Offense looks good. Pitching, for the most part, has been really good.
Yeah, I think I got the pitching's been. I mean, they've had one bad start from Moss against UCLA, and look, that's a great lineup, but I think also it wasn't a good outing for him.
Yeah.
He'd have to be the first to tell you that. So again, like I said, until that's confirmed that he's made the transition and is going to be good at making that transition from the bullpen to there, then I'm going to have, and it was the same for Sadeo, but he's been really locked in. That's such a key to this team's like long-term success. It just is. It's not like, it just is what it is. Like, they need to have really good starters on Friday and Saturday, I think. I don't think you're going to slug your way through, SEC pitching. You need SEC high-level pitching on the front end of your weekend for sure. And I think he's got it in him, but it just you've played one game against an elite team, and you got run ruled, and it was 4-0 and then 6-1 after a couple of innings. So you had competitive at bats, and you had some, Grahovec, if that ball's 4 foot over, it's a 2-run shot in the first inning. Like, you had chances there where you go, damn, I wish I could have that back. And like I said, for a game where guys get 2 hits, I felt like they were making really good contact throughout the game. But the bottom line, it was 11-1.